Yep, welcome back to the Frequency with Gabe P, a show, Frequency at On the Radar, where I just like to interview some incredible people, artists, just people who I think are really dope. Today I got my brother in the building. It's going to be a very good episode. The one, the only, Jordan Rose is in the building. What's up, my G?
Sir, my dog, I am appreciative.
A pivotal person in the culture right now. And just in general, for real. Just a great writer, great person, incredible host.
Man, thank you. I'm glad to be in this new, very nice, expensive-looking space.
Is it expensive looking?
No, it feels, because there's so much thought and attention to detail put into it. It feels expensive, and I'm glad to be here, man. This is fun.
Yeah, man, we got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah,
we were gonna do this before Iceman came out, but I think it worked out.
Yeah,
where it's like we're doing this after, like we both got our cups. You know what I'm saying?
You
know, like
it's like what, 80 degrees in the city.
It's 80 degrees. It's 80 degrees on a Monday. I'm probably gonna flip this quickly because it's very timely what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But 80 degrees on a Monday, we're drinking something. We're having a good time.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm excited because I finally get to I feel like you're always on the other side of doing the interviews.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like people know you from like Twitter and shit, but they don't really know Jordan yet, you know, because you haven't really done a lot of like interviews. Like you haven't been interviewed that much.
I have not. This is definitely one of the first, so I'm glad it's with you. And yeah, I mean, it's funny because since I'm an interviewer, it is different and interesting to be on the other side of it. But your experience also doing the interviewing and being the interviewer, so yeah, you're the man for the job.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Well, I think like it was funny because we hung out here for like an hour before we got started. But like something that you were talking about, even with my friends, that I thought was very interesting is like you want to be able to tell that you had like a speech impediment growing up. And like because just the way that you're so great in these interviews and great on these shows on Complex, you wouldn't know that you like had like this whole issue when you were younger. Yeah. So what happened when you were a kid? What was kind of like what was going on?
When I was young, I had like a very slight stutter. So it had to have been like 4th grade or 5th grade. My mom put me in oratory classes where we would memorize speeches and then recite them in front of our class. And it would help us get over whatever slight speech impediment we had, and also be able to be like a better public speaker. So through that, I got into just really, that's why I'm good at like memorizing lyrics now. And like I've memorized or learned song lyrics really quickly because I used to memorize speeches all the time and then also help my public speaking. It was from like there that like I used to write poetry. Then I like started to like perform my poetry, and then I realized my poems were getting super long. So I was like, I should just write an essay out of this. And that's how I got into writing in the first place, was just creatively writing my thoughts out that were too long for poems. And here we are now, kinda. Yeah, because like after that, it was like I was at Complex. I started out as a writer. Still am a writer, but like I was just writing when I first started at Complex. And as time progressed and media habits changed, we realized we needed more on-camera people to interview. And when I interviewed artists, even if it was just written, I would always approach it as, I wouldn't approach it any differently. So when they were like, okay, we're just going to put a camera in front of you all, it didn't change my approach to how I would talk to somebody. Yeah. And so it was never like a thing. And that's how it was kind of like a seamless transition into on-camera content. And then going back to those early oratory days, it helped that I was able to speak publicly, or I was able to speak without being, fearful of cameras or people perceiving me. And it was kind of like a full circle moment in that, and it helped me seamlessly transition into just like on-camera stuff.
Right. Well, how do you even because being on camera doing the public speaking is one thing, but then also kind of like dealing with other personalities and like, interviewing artists specifically. It's not like you're interviewing other personalities where it's kind of like simple to kind of like talk. Like with us, it's like it's simple to talk because we want to know each other, but also it's just like artists have like, depending on the artist, they have like always a thing about them. You know what I'm saying? So like, how did you kind of get over like that hump with speaking to artists too and kind of becoming comfortable? Like, like you were very comfortable with the game. And the new show that you guys just dropped. And, even like with like Molly or Georgie, like, those are two interviews I really mess with. You were very comfortable with them. Like, how do you become comfortable in those situations? And I guess like, how do you also become comfortable in the situations where like you're speaking to people who like you admire too?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think to something our brother Speedy once told me. Shout out to Speedy.
Shout out Speedy.
He told me like, when you're interviewing people, approach it like you're giving a tour of a house, and because you did the research prior to, you know what each room is. But for your audience, you want to guide the tour and not the guest. So it's like, if we're talking about, let's say we're starting an interview out with your early childhood, and the guest wants to jump ahead to like something that they're currently doing, you want to still maintain control of this tour. Yeah. So it's like, before you jump ahead to showing them the kitchen, we're going to stay at this room and then go to this next room and this next room, so that you are revealing things at your pace for your audience about them. Because both you and them know this entire house. But for the content and for what we're trying to like reveal and inform our audience about, you want to take it step by step. So that was one nugget that I always think about. But also I just feel like I prepare really, really well whenever I'm interviewing anybody. So it's like, I like to find deep cut facts or things that make the artist know that I give a fuck. I think it's important because, we live in an era where everybody is making content. And I think in general, it makes a person feel nice when you can tell that they spent more than X amount of time looking into you a little bit. Yeah. Especially artists who are like, might be doing a press run, so they're doing 100 interviews in a week, and you want to kind of separate yourself in that way. And like for like those interviews that you named, like Molly and Georgiana, I interviewed them like early on-ish in their careers. Yeah. Like Molly's was like right when she was starting to get some like out of the underground buzz.
Was it like pre-Dawn Tour or post-Dawn Tour?
Pre-Dawn Tour.
Pre-Dawn Tour, okay.
So this is like, like she was...
almost 2 years ago?
Yeah, about 2 years ago. So it was like, very end of 2024. Yeah. And so she was just getting some buzz. Georgiana was just starting to get some buzz. And those are fun because you're able to talk to somebody when they haven't been asked 100 questions. The game is a different challenge because he's someone who's been in the round for super long. Yeah. So you have to kind of approach that, you get it, like differently.
Like, what can I ask you for that
exactly.
you haven't been asked yet?
So you have to kind of think outside the box, even looking at questions that they've been asked before and finding a different angle to it, or finding something that they hadn't revealed out of an answer that they gave to another question. Yeah. That's kind of how I approach interviews with artists who've been around longer. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just kind of being curious ultimately. Yeah. And that's kind of the approach for everybody, whether they're new or been around for a minute.
Have you ever said no because you couldn't like come up with something that you felt was good enough?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah. Cause you get it. It's like everybody has motion when you are on a platform or have built a platform. Hey guys.
Hi, Nikki.
It's okay. We chat.
No, we go. But like when you built the platform, yeah.
Yeah, when you build a platform or you're on a platform that is established and like a lot of people want to come on it. So their discernment, I feel like, is the biggest part of my job, in the sense of like people who I don't interview are not because they're not popping. It's more just like, what can I add to the conversation? Yeah. And if I don't feel like I can add anything, or if you aren't gaining anything from this interaction besides like being on Complex, I personally won't do it, because it's just like that aspect of it. I think it loses the purpose of what this is for, which is like, one of my old mentors used to say, any interview you do, people should either learn from it or laugh from it. If they do both, A+. You did a great job. If you did at least one, still a good job. So it's like, if I can't make you learn from something that we're talking about, like learn about this person or about their craft, their approach to music, or make you laugh from our conversation, then L. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah.
No, I understand that. I feel like even with me getting back into this, doing interviews and kind of what I started doing, like, it's kind of like I've already been approached to do certain interviews with certain artists, and I've literally just been like, I don't know what I could add to this conversation.
Exactly.
Like mostly like legacy artists, because I feel like my specialty is obviously, well, I could do legacy artists, but like my specialty is obviously like the newer artists, just because like I feel like I have more in common with them, which, as I'm sure you feel the same way. And it's like, it's tough because like if you got something like The Game or like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like who would be like a more like a not S tier, but would kind of like fit right in that middle tier. Like even like homie Big Sean.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know what I would ask. Like Like when he came to OTR, we talked for like an hour, but like we didn't interview. We were just chatting about like Cash and like what he likes, and I think that could make for compelling content. But like also like outside of that, I don't know what I would talk to him about. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to ask, like you said, you don't want to ask somebody shit that they've been asked like a million times. You know, which is always why I find it interesting when like or cool when like someone like when like a Vlad or like a Joe will get like a story out of somebody. Yeah, that you'll be like, oh wow, like he's never told that story yet. That's kind of surprising. He never told that story yet. Like, and I always admire that. I'm like, damn, how did you get that out of them?
Well, I can't lie. That's what I like about your content because I feel like you get those stories out of these rising and up and comers because you have such a natural and close relationship with them. That also the familiarity y'all have with similar regions, like when someone from the towns comes through and y'all are telling a story and it's like something that you can infer on if they mention something and you're like, oh yeah, like you have a follow-up question for them because you're familiar with the area that they're talking about or the story that they're telling based on other stories you already know from just like lived experience. And that's some shit that you can't teach or even learn outside of living, which I think separates a lot of interviewers who like not just shit on anybody who like is super like book trained or whatever, but it's like there's certain things that I feel like you even look at like the OGs like Sway, who like he started out like street team on the ground outside everywhere, and so when you then look at his interviews later down the line, he's able to tell stories or like riff off other stories because he was also there. Like if he's interviewing fucking Common and Common's talking about a festival he did in like 2003, Sway will be like, oh yeah, facts, because like I remember also being there and seeing this, and what was your experience also see like shit like that you cannot teach, you just have to be there for. And I think you do a great job at that.
Oh, thank you, bro. Likewise. But like kind of bringing it back a little bit, we're talking about like starting out, right? And we covered like, your the speech impediment, how you kind of got over that. How do you go, you mentioned the poetry and everything you were doing and starting your writing, but how do you like, first like get started at Complex? Because like, I think like and I think we all agree here, like the Complex like 10 years ago, like that was like kind of like the golden beginning of Complex, with Speedy, with like Hot Ones, and I'm trying to remember everybody's name.
Jinx.
Yes, with Jinx and Nadeska. Like it was so many new young faces at that time, and you and I believe are like a year or two apart. So we were both kind of like kids at that time watching this all unfold. Facts. So where were you, like how did the Complex journey start for you, and then like at like what point were they like, all right, you're a cool writer but you should start like hosting shit too?
Facts. I mean, for me, I was, it's kind of like that cliche story, like I was an intern. I remember when the internship program was released, and it was like that like movie like intern thing where it was like, okay, in a creative way, tell us why you should be an intern. You could bake a cake, you could paint a picture, you could do whatever out of the box creative shit you want to do. It was like this most informal thing, but just in a creative way, tell us why you should be with the company. And like I didn't have I didn't have one of those unique talents. Like I can't like paint or like bake or make a song, or I didn't have any of those unique talents. So it's like, what can I do to make myself stand out? And back to like my fucking early beginnings of like doing slam poetry and shit, it's like, okay, I can talk. So like, let me write a spoken word piece and record myself doing it and like edit it as best as I can with like my remedial editing skills. And so it was called Simple. And essentially, the concept was we understand things relative to what they're not. So you're only short because you're not tall. It's only hot because it's not cold. And it's only complex because it's not simple. So then I just use that play on words to talk about how I'm not simple in the same way that complex is not simple, and like highlighting whatever like things I had done up until that point when I was in college. And they fucked with that, thankfully. And I was an intern and literally grinded that entire summer. I was still in Jersey. I'm from Jersey, lived in Jersey. Was coming to the city every single day. And after the internship program had ended, I never forget, like, I finessed my way, for everybody like watching who's like in corporate at all, like I finessed my way into staying in the company Slack.
Me too.
That was
But
the
I didn't stay
key.
in Slack. I just stayed in the building. They never turned my card off. But
Yeah,
yes,
that was the key. Like, I stayed in the Slack. So even though I had to go back, because I was a sophomore when I was an intern, I had to go back to school. But since I was still in the Slack, I didn't have to email or DM people to get in contact with them. I would just Slack pitches. Every single day, I would Slack. Shout out to Fraser Tharp, who just interviewed Jay-Z.
Shout out Fraser. I fuck with Fraser.
He
Fraser hard,
was my OG when I was an intern. And so Fraser remembers this. I would Slack Fraser a pitch at least 3 times a week, like story ideas. So whatever, grinded. Eventually came on full-time at Complex as a writer. And then as media habits changed, and they were like, okay, like we need people to start doing more on-camera content and still write, but just do more on-camera stuff. I just raised my hand. I was just always willing to do stuff. And I wasn't afraid of getting in front of a camera because when I would interview artists, we would talk as if there was a camera there or not. Like the way I interview people now, it's like I like to start conversation and then like we'll do the slate and cameras will start rolling, but we'll just already be talking. Cause like, you know, this, especially with young artists or like people who are like apprehensive to cameras, if you make it seem like it's too much of a like program, they're going to get like closed off. So I like to make it like we're already talking. I'll do my intro, but like just keep talking to me.
Yeah, I'll probably start talking to them at least like 20 minutes. Like how we just hung out here, we're just chit-chatting. Like,
exactly.
I like talking to people before I start shooting because then like they get comfortable with you and they're like, oh, he's not like an op. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not an op.
This isn't like this, you know, very orchestrated thing. Like, no, this is just a conversation. And that's what I think all interviews are. It's just a conversation that I'm naturally and organically trying to learn something about you.
Right.
And so it's like, that's how I want the interviews to come off. And so that's how I kind of got into doing on-camera stuff at Complex. And then just like, you know, put the pedal to the metal, grinded. And here we are now, for real.
Nah, these last few years have been crazy. But before I kind of get to like some of the people that you've spoken to, who was the first person that they ever made you do the on-camera content with?
Damn, that's a good question.
Or like the first artist that you interviewed for them on camera?
The first artist I interviewed on camera might have been... Oh, it was Jim Jones. It was Capo. It was Capo. Oh, no, it's Capo.
Dante, why you got that face like that, bro?
It was a Dipset member. It was a member of Dipset.
That's crazy.
And this was around the time... They were promoting something. Actually, no. Cut that. No, it was actually, what's her name? Oh my God.
Singer, rapper.
No, it was a collective. So we had done a special, like, artist to watch thing with a collective of women artists. And it was Scarlett, Kenzo B., Maya the Don.
I remember this.
Yes, it was like,
this.
And I want to say there was a fourth one,
You
but
want me
maybe
to look it up?
Yeah. See if and Lola.
Oh yeah.
So it was like those four. This was like what, early 23, maybe late 22.
I think in late 20.
Yeah, maybe late 2022. This is like when Lola was like having her super buzz.
Yep.
Scar had just been discovered. Kenzo obviously had always been around.
Maya had Selfie.
Yeah, I remember. I also referenced Kenzo's On the Radar freestyle when she did it over Dreams and Nightmares.
Yeah,
because that was
the second one. Yeah,
that one was so crazy.
Kenzo's the truth. Shout out Kenzo.
Yeah, and so we were just like highlighting like the women of New York and like the moment they were having at that point. And that was like the first real like with the whole camera crew and multiple cameras. That was the first super real on camera interview I did. I did some other things like shot on iPhone and like super quick stuff, but that was like the first actual setup that I had done. And it was fun. I was definitely a little nervous just because it was like a whole bunch going on, but I was still trying to keep it casual. Because I think like, ultimately at the end of the day, dog, like we are talking to people. Like, yes, like millions of people are watching what we do, but in the room, it's like 5 motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when we did the verses, like with Apple Music for the first time at ComplexCon this past year, and it was me and Ebro doing it for the Cash Money versus No Limit, and like mad people were watching it, but our setup was very simple. So like I wasn't nervous even though it was live, because it's like, yo, just peel the curtain back we talk to people for a living. This is not do or die right now. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's important to, like, obviously what we do is important, but also not taking it overly serious. Is important. You know?
Yeah, I agree. Because you take it too serious, it's just kind of like.
Now it's weird
because we're just in a little tiny room. Most people think like the rooms that we do these content pieces in are like giant, like grand rooms. Like, nah, we just in like a little corner of like a room in
with
Brooklyn
with nice chairs,
a good like some good lights and food. Like even like the like. I mean, I've never been to like the Versus set, but I'm assuming it was kind of like Complex Con. It's just like a little room probably.
You know, the Complex Con one was literally backstage of the Versus, so it's like not even a room. It's like just backstage. We did it. We stood up. We had the cameras, and that was it. Yeah. And it's like these things that like a whole bunch of people watch. Yes, of course, some of these things are like very highly produced.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, dog, the best content doesn't have to be highly produced. It could just be
facts.
Like good vibes, good conversation. Mm-hmm. That's all it takes. Like some of the best interviews I've done or the best moments I've gotten were shot on an iPhone at like a carpet or like pulling up on a homie at a pop-up. You know what I mean? It's like, people always look at us crazy when we go to the Grammys and we have our iPhones because we don't bring like big ass cameras because it's harder to export content. Yeah. It's way easier and you have the same video quality shooting on your phone and getting it up immediately. And like we're next to like fucking CBS or whatever like traditional media outlet and they have their whole camera set up, which is like no shade to them, but it's like, yo, we can have the same conversation with our setup. You know what I'm saying?
Do they be looking at y'all crazy on those red carpets?
All the time. I have this funny photo of like one of my homies who used to be our social editor, shout out to Stefan, and he was in like the photo pit.
Yeah.
And we were getting video content. Obviously, like when you're getting photography, you need like the real cameras. But we're getting just video clips of concerts, and it's like him with his iPhone like this, and like a line of like photographers with like their long scopes, and it's just him like this with it, like getting. I think it might have been like a Dreamville Fest or some shit like that. But it's just funny, you know, because it's like, yo, get it how you live, bro. Yeah. Get it how you fucking live. Like media is changing so much. You have to be willing. I think that's how I've also been able to like last as long as I have. It's like you have to be adaptable. If I was a writer that didn't want to get on camera because of whatever. I know some writers like turn their nose up at social video content.
There's a lot of writers that do that.
I wouldn't have a job. I would not have a job if I was unwilling to talk on camera. You know what I mean? And like I embrace it and I enjoy it because I like having conversations with people. So you just can't be, you know, narrow in your mindset of what content has to look like.
And like also, we talking about red carpets. Like you have like a very infamous red carpet moment.
Which one?
The one with Kai.
Oh, facts. Oh, yeah. Facts.
And I felt bad for you because, like, obviously, like, whatever happened. Like, I'm not going to talk about that situation, right? But, like.
Shout out to Chris.
Shout out.
That's my guy now for real.
Shout out Chris. Yeah, shout out Chris for real. But, like, when he, like, pressed you, I'm like, oh, man. I feel bad because, like, Jordan's just, like, trying to do his job. Yeah. And he's not the one who messed up. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
Like, and then he's like, I forgot what he said. He says something about, he's like, you know what y'all did.
Yeah,
and you like, bro, it's not like.
Yeah. I mean, bro, shit like that, bro, it's like, you gotta, like, I know now after, like, doing it for a little bit, like, sometimes you have to fall on the sword of, like, yes. Because I work for Complex, even, like, when I go to places, people will be like, oh, Complex. That's not my fucking name. My name is Jordan.
Don't you hate that?
I hate it a lot.
They be like, yo, on the radar. I'm like, yo, bro, that's not my fucking name.
It's like one of my biggest pet peeves. Whoever's watching, like, I love everybody who pulls up and shows love. My name is Jordan. My name is not Complex. Do not call me out as like Complex. That shit blows mine. I'm gonna still show you love. That shit blows mine. But yeah, it's like I know that because my face is on this platform like every fucking day.
Yeah,
that'll happen. And especially in that instance with Kai, it's like, yeah, like we fucked up, whatever. Or maybe we didn't fuck up. Maybe I can't leave. Whatever happened.
Yeah, that's what whatever happened.
Yeah, whatever happened. And it's like, I'm never going to be staticky. Like I get what Kai's like, where he was coming from. And that's why even in that moment, it was like, if I would have came on some defensive shit, like I'm sure that would have went a different way. But I was like, nah, I hear what you're saying. Funny enough, I think either that same week or the week after I ran into Chris. No, the next week, because it was All-Star Weekend the next week, that was the first time I met Chris, was that next week, and we talked about that, and that's kind of what was built the bridge of how we're like tight as fuck now. But yeah, like carpets are crazy, bro. Carpets are the most like non-real world shit ever, because it's like you have to talk to somebody for a very short period of time. Like you get like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, however long, with people walking the carpet, and it's so weird because there's so many cameras, and like obviously if you're walking the carpet, it's like I'm sure a whole different type of like Twilight Zone experience. But that was funny because he was streaming, and yeah, it was a moment. But shout out to Kai, man. But see, like, even you, how was your experience doing the Mafia-thon shit and being in that streamer world?
How you interviewing me now?
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking. Now you got me thinking. Talking about Kai, it's like, what was that like?
Damn, man. I mean, what was that like? I mean, for real, it was cool. It was like a little like at times like it felt like a little like dystopian. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like it was cool, but like after a while, and when I say dystopian, it's not like in a bad way. It's just kind of like we're doing the same thing every single day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And we're on camera with like, 200,000 people tuning in and like just watching us. And I'm like, and the whole time I'm just like, yo, this is kind of crazy, like what we're doing.
Right.
But it was cool. Like it was cool to be around like all the guys and kind of like get their energy and kind of see how they operate and kind of like watch Kai and his element and like kind of see how his like thoughts process.
Right.
And like how he's so good at what he does. That like it was cool, but it was definitely felt like dystopian after a while because like I don't like being in LA for too long in general. Like LA is just like I love my people from LA, but like LA is just not for me. The same way like New York is not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
And like we were living in like Laurel Canyon, so we were like out the way. We were living in like some big crib overlooking like one of the I don't even know what you would call
valleys.
The valleys, one of the valleys and whatnot. And I was just like, and it was just like super like. We go, do what we got to do, go back to the house. Some days they might push us later. Some days they might push us earlier. Some days we might not do it till 1 a.m. And it's just like, and it's just kind of like, once you get in like a little rhythm, then like it breaks your rhythm. But like you understand because it is what it is. So there were some times where I was like, oh man. And there were times where we were all like just defeated, like we wouldn't even speak to each other, like the team, like we would just all get in the car very silently and then go. And then silently come back. Yeah. And it's like because we're living with each other for 30 days, bro. Crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and we're living separate from Kai and them. So it was definitely crazy, but it was like cool. It'd be like one day we were just like working, like trying to get the videos up from the day, and Victoria Justice just like walks in our room with Kai, and I'm like, oh shit, y'all want us to leave? And he's like, nah, you're good. He's like, Gabe, this is Victoria. She's like, nice to meet you. I'm like, I know who you are. I'm like, I love you, by the way. Yeah. My bad. I love you, by the way. But like other days, like just like Tony Hawk and Alicia Keys, just like roaming the halls, and it was just like it's super like weird because you're just like I don't know what's going on, but it's cool. Like I really love what they do. You know what I'm saying? And I hope Kai like streams again soon.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because he's definitely LeBron of this shit. Like
definitely, yeah.
His absence is felt, and he's built something like that Mafia-thon shit. I feel like was the last massive thing that he did.
Yeah,
and that like just speaking specifically like, on even the freestyle shit built. Like, shout out to my brother Chris Patrick, Absolutely. Jersey's finest. Like
Jersey's finest for sure.
That moment, like when I interviewed Nas, and I was like, we were at the end of the interview, I was asking him like, who have you been listening to? And he was like, I don't know, like who would you recommend? And I was like, well, there's this guy Chris Patrick, and he was like, oh, that guy who he did that freestyle, and he started crying. I'm like, yes. So it's like the fact that even somebody like Nas saw that shit shows the waves that created. And how important that shit is, especially the artists like Chris who were like on the come up and are now performing that freestyle on road. Like he performed that shit at Jid's tour. Like that shit is just dope to just see how far this thing that you did in this room with like however many cameras, how far that can travel. You know what I mean?
Like even seeing like I don't know if Doc got the free. I'm sure Doc seen the freestyle
for sure. Seen that freestyle.
But like this actually is a good pivot because I was gonna like talk about some like your accolades and like Nas obviously huge one. But to wrap up like the Mafia-thon thing, it's like, yeah, it's really cool. I was very happy with how that all turned out. Like, we're very proud of like all the work that we did there. I love that I could like incorporate like Marco Plus and Chris Patrick and just like real rappers who I really just think are dope. Yeah. And then also bringing like other kids like, you know, JDS Never Missing, who is this white kid from Virginia, but he could really rap for real but the fact that he looks like a little bit like Peter Griffin, people like try to make fun of him. But but the kid can really rap. So like that's why I called him for that. Or like bringing like some really good trap rappers like Trap Dicky or Freddie P. Franklin from the Carolinas, like giving that side representation. Then also, you know, hitting like the star bands, the La Tylers, the Babyface E's, the La Dills. Like I wanted to make sure that like everybody had like an opportunity to like every region of rap for the most part felt represented. And then of course bringing like Eladio in for like the last day was like something like that was literally just for me because, you know, of being Puerto Rican. And like also like it was so funny, like after we walked off stream that day, like Kyle like looked at me and he's like, Gabe, you're Puerto Rican? Mind you, I've been wearing like a Puerto Rican flag on my hat like half the days. Yeah. And then Phantom knows I'm Puerto Rican because me and Phantom have known each other before that. Phantom like he puts his hand on my shoulder. He goes, "Gabe, you're Puerto Rican?" I'm like, yo, bro, stop fucking with me, man. But yeah, man, like it was super fun. But kind of going back to like the outgoings like Nas, like fucking Derrick Rose, right? 50 Cent, like. You really have like cultivated like, and of course Youngboy, which we're gonna get to, but you have really like cultivated like one of the most insane like interview catalogs.
Thanks, man.
Online, arguably like, probably like if you put up like the faces that you've spoken to next to a lot of other people, like you're up there. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man.
I think obviously Speedy got like presidents and shit, but like you're like right there with some of the people. Were any of these people, you know, you talked about like how Nas and we were talking a little bit before we started rolling about 50 and shit. Were there anybody along this line that you had done of this like stature that had you like sweating before? I feel like 50 had to have had you sweating a little bit. Cause you got to kind of tread lightly.
Yeah. You feel me? I had to vibe. Yeah, 50. Oh my God, what did he say? Because 50's was hectic because I remember he was obviously always promoting something. He was promoting his like new cognac. And so there were like 2 other traditional media outlets there that were only interviewing him about that. But they had taken up the entire floor space with their cameras. Right. And so this one we had real cameras.
Like proper cameras, like not like cell phones.
We had proper cameras, but I remember we had to like get a new floor. So we were on, because the floor that everyone else was doing interviews on was already crowded. Yeah. So we had our own floor, so it was just us. And I remember when he pulled up, obviously like with fucking 100 motherfuckers. And like I've been in those environments where it's like a whole bunch of people like pulling up to set or whatever. But I had to like kind of produce this shit myself. So like I'm making sure that, okay, we got our camera angles right, whatever. We have the seats where they got to be, da-da-da-da-da. And he, being the master of media that he is, he pulls up. First thing he says, which since we were rolling, because I told him, like, just start rolling as soon as he walks in. Like, no time to waste. That's, like, what I have noticed and learned when it comes to, like, big gets like that. It's like, yo, just have cameras rolling as soon as they arrive on the set so that there's no moments of pause or hesitation. So we're already rolling, and he pulls up and he's like, oh, Complex, so this is going to give me, the young women are going to fuck with me because of this, right? Like, I hope this is going to help me with the young ladies. And just being mad funny. So I was like, okay, like, he's already chill. So then he sits down, and, like, I knew that he doesn't drink, but he has, obviously, this, like, massive cognac brand. So I'm like, how does somebody who controls and owns this massive cognac brand do it without drinking? And that was like an icebreaker that kind of like I felt like eased shit up. But yeah, it was I don't know, like him, you're kind of nervous leading up to it, right? But then once it gets started, it's lesser so because you're just talking to somebody. And that's what I always try to think about. Like, you're just talking to somebody, and as you get into the rhythm of the conversation, things get less hectic. For me, it's like the butterflies and the anxiousness always is before the other person is sitting down. Because that's always the hardest part. Getting the other person to sit in the other chair and start the conversation. Once they're sitting there already, we're Gucci. Like, we're rolling. Like, I'm not tripping at that point. It's like fucking, like, I'm sure we'll get to YB. But, yeah, like, leading up to that was the stressful shit. Once he was already there, everything is good type shit.
Yeah, because I feel like, right, you have, like, the interviews that are kind of, like, already planned that you would do in the complex studio. Then you have, like, those kind of, like, getting how we fit in. Like, the 50. Like, you're just hoping that it works out. Exactly. But then, like, you become, like, very much known for, like, you're, like, on the ground, boots, kind of like guerrilla journalism. Right? Like, I think about, like, the Gunna one is a good example of that, too. Because you pull up to Gunna's, like, it's a
run club.
It's a 5K in Brooklyn, right? Which I think is super dope. And, like, I think, like, that's kind of what's been, like, has, at least for me, was, like, kind of, like, missing at Complex, right? Because I felt like the interviews with Speedy were, like, perfect, right? It's, like, perfect sit down, perfectly curated, all that. But, like, kind of like how you were talking about how, like, when you apply for Complex, you flip the whole simple thing. Yeah. And you explain why you're not simple and you're complex like complex. Like, I think that's what you brought to the table really well, because it's like, oh, like, when I see, like, Jordan on my feed outside of, like, the in-studio stuff is, like, the From the Pit or the Gunna Run Club one, or, like, I'm trying to think, or Youngboy. Like these on-the-ground boots journalism is, like, something I really admire about you, because, one, I don't know how you do it, but, like, also it's something that was missing. So for you, is that, like, more is, like, you kind of putting your foot forward, like, yo, we got to go do this like this? Or is it kind of, like, a little bit of both, where it's, like, you guys are 50-50 with, like, how you guys want to approach these situations with, like, with the company?
Nah, it's 100% me. Like, it's, like, on some shit where, you know, like, I do fucking Live from the Pit, where I'll interview kids in mosh pits, and, like, I'll ask them deep live questions, and, like, that's a unique content style that I created. I just feel like you got to be willing to do, A, what other people won't do, and also just think outside the box in terms of how to get the content. So, like, for the Gunna Run Club, it was like, that was, I think, his second one. He did one in Miami, but, like, that was the first one he had done, and it was, like, not as organized as the one he did in Brooklyn. That was, like, his first, like, formal 5K run. And I was like, okay, so, like, Gunna's gonna be out here, like, I'm tight with this team, and I know that we can get something unique out of this, and also make it, like, an experience, like, make you feel like you're also running, you know what I mean? Or, like, you're also there with me. Because what I noticed with Live from the Pit that made it successful was that you may not want to go into a mosh pit. Fully understandable. It's insane in
How
there.
old are you now?
27.
Okay, you about to turn 28?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right.
No, but listen, but, like,
keep going.
The Live from the Pit shit was birthed through just, like, a whole other means. But it was like, okay, with the actual content itself, it's like, you are not any, you know, conscious human being with responsibilities would not go into a fucking mosh pit. But maybe you just want to see what it's like in there. Or, like, in a rap mosh pit, you know what I mean? Like, in the Net Spend show or a Ken Carson show or a Cardi or whoever, like, what is it like in there? You see the videos, what is it like actually being in the eye of the storm? And that's where it was like, okay, I'm going to change my brain chemistry to be willing to do this. Now, can I get a cameraman? Shout out to Nick Bianco, who is my cameraman for Live on the Pit. Shout out to Stefan, who is my OG cameraman. Shout out to Allison, who is also my camera woman in the pits, who is crazy enough to go in there with me with the iPhone and, like, a little rig, hold on tight, and, like, ride with me through this storm. And it's like that type of being a fly on the wall or living vicariously through me in this wild experience is kind of how I approach all of, like, my on the ground guerrilla style content, where it's like same with the Gunna Run Club. It's like, you don't really want to run 5K, but, like, run with me and then talk to Gunna after we run this 5K. Or YB at Barclays Center. It's like, you may not be able to get to see YB before, as he walks onto stage of this sold out Barclays Center show, but, like, follow me as we figure this out together. And I think that's why streaming is so successful. It's like, people want to feel like they're with the streamers. Like, Speed, people can't travel across the globe and do all this crazy shit with him, but if you watch him on stream, maybe you feel like you're with him if you're a fan of his. So that mentality is kind of how I approach those guerrilla style content of you following me as I am also figuring out this kind of unpredictable, in some instances unplanned, like the YB Barclays Center shit where we walked out on stage, or where we walked out with him before he hit the stage. That wasn't even supposed to be the video. The video was supposed to be, I was supposed to talk to him in his dressing room before the show. We get there and his team was like, okay, so YB has something that he has to tell y'all. He won't tell us what it is. And we're like, okay. But they're like, however, y'all gonna have to walk with him. He's not gonna sit and talk to you in this moment. Y'all gonna have to walk with him to the stage and he's gonna say it then.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, bet. So I told my cameraman, Nick, I was like, yo, Nick, look, you're gonna have to just backpedal, all right? Lock in and just backpedal and we're gonna figure it out. And so shout out to fucking him, because he was able to maintain pace with us, because YB was walking fast. I can't even lie. Like, that entire interview was like fucking a minute long, because we were making pace to that stage.
Yeah.
And that was the content. But it was like, you just have to be able to adapt on the fly. You know, what if, like, my old trainer, when I used to play basketball, after every session, he would tell us, prepare so well so that when it's time to perform, you can look effortless, be spontaneous, and just have fun. And so that's how I approach it. It's like, I'm prepared for any and every variable so that when it's time to perform, I can look effortless doing it, be spontaneous and change on the fly, and just have fun. That's kind of like the approach to that shit.
Well, okay. So since we're on the topic of YB, right? So what was that whole, like, obviously, what was the thing that they said that he was going to tell you that they wouldn't tell him, or that he wouldn't tell them?
They gassed it. It was like fucking... He was like, I just want to tell Complex, specifically Complex, thank you for following me on my journey. Like, that was it. God. That was it. That was it. I was like, boy, appreciate it, YB. So that was the thing that he wouldn't tell nobody else, but I appreciate him for showing the love. And honestly, that video that we did at Barclays was what allowed us to do the actual full interview, because, like, we had Mets, which is, you know, a lot of people can't even meet this guy face to face, and I wasn't like scared. Like, I wasn't intimidated by everything that was happening around before we like did that, like the chaoticness, you know what I mean? And I think that he felt that, and his team was like super chill and saw the content and they fucked with it or whatever, and that's what helped build the bridge to like our like hour-long sit down that we did like 2 or 3 months later, because that was in October, and then we did the whole full interview in January. So that's how that was built. And then the full interview was a whole other thing. But yeah, the most unique interview experience I've ever had, for sure.
With the full interview, like, what was then like that like? Because what state y'all shot that in?
Utah.
You shot that in Utah.
Yeah, where he lives and shit.
But then you also like got up and started walking in that one too, right?
Yeah, that one was at a ski resort, because, again, being able to be spontaneous. The original idea, or the original shoot concept for that interview, was supposed to be him and I in a ski lift and riding up the top of a mountain. And the theme of the video was like, you know, to the top of the mountaintop, because it was reflecting on his like super crazy 2025 and like Slime Cry and the massive tour, and him like really having this ascension to the top of hip hop. But he was mad late, and so the ski lift closed, and so me and our producer on site, Tommy, shout out to Tommy, we had to figure out on the fly how we were going to adjust. So we were like, okay, let's just rent out an expensive-ass lodge and set up our cameras in a room and just do it sit-down style, like fireside chat. And so the one thing that his team emphasized was like, okay, we can do this, but he's going to want to walk at some point. And we were like, okay, so we will walk and talk. Because in my head, I was like, after waiting like, I think it was like 7-8 hours in this like ski resort, I was like, we're going to get everything we need to get here. Like, there was no world where I was leaving Utah with nothing. So I was like, okay, even if he like cuts it short or whatever, like we'll just like take our cameras, get a light, and walk wherever.
Right.
And so that's what happened. Like, he pulled up, you know, first he pulled up and there had to be, like, it was a stripped set. Like, no one could be in there except for who had to be in there. And I remember, like, his barber, no shade to his barber, but his barber was in there shaking, cutting his hair, or like shaping him up. And I'm like, yo, like, everybody was on edge. Like he was like shaping him up like,
like
this.
this.
Yeah, I was like, yo,
that's crazy.
So I pull up, and like I said, like I think it's important to just like establish that like yes, what we're doing isn't normal in the sense of like talking while being recorded, but we're just having a conversation ultimately. So it's like, and I have friends, cousins who are like YB in the sense of just being like very unique. And so YB did not scare me, or I wasn't intimidated. And I feel like that mutual respect was established from the beginning, which is what allowed us to have an hour-long conversation. And in the middle of that conversation, like his team said, he was like, you know, can we go step outside? And I was like, yeah, bet. So like I made sure our camera crew were ready for that. And we go outside. And the reason why he lives in Utah is because he's able to maneuver out there like a normal person. Like he doesn't like all the extra attention, which is why like tour was so hard for him, because like obviously like all of the eyes and like
on him, yeah.
Yeah, like him not being able to maneuver how he wants. So we were like, that ski resort, we did that in January, which is like peak ski season. So that resort was packed, even at night. And we walked outside, nobody stopped us. No, like those are regular business hours. Nobody stopped us or anything like that. And yeah, like we did that. We came back inside. We finished the conversation, and I asked every single question I had, every single one, amazing. Which is fire, you know. And like even after that, he was like, "Let's take the photos for the thumbnail and all that shit." So he was great. He was really, really great. But like the stress was getting to that point. Was like the 7 hours in the daytime, just hoping he gets to the sets type shit, which was a higher probability since we were in his home state. Like, if we were, like, fucking in the city or some shit and we had to, like, hope he made it or whatever, it would have been challenging. But he came from home to the ski resort. So it all worked out. And he truly is, like, we were talking about this before we were rolling, like, he is the Michael Jackson of the YNs. Like, I asked him, I'm like, you know, people compare you
So you're agreeing with what Georgie said on our Rolling Loud interview?
100%.
Okay.
100%. Like, I asked him, I was like, you know, people say that you are, like, the Mike Jack to this generation. And he was like, I don't know, like, I don't know nothing about Michael Jackson. He, in the sense of, like, he wasn't alive during Michael Jackson's peak.
Right.
So he doesn't know, he can't compare himself to Mike because he couldn't see for himself what it was like in, like, the 80s and early 90s when Mike was at peak superstardom, which makes sense. But, yeah, I agree with Georgiana that after being at that Barclays show, like, he is Mike Jack to these kids. Even at Rolling Loud, when he didn't pull up and like No Cap performed some of his songs,
and people were wilding out,
wilding. So yeah, YB is a special breed, but definitely blessed to have done that because that was one of the most challenging interviews I've done, but like also the most fulfilling in being able to get what I got from him when he doesn't talk. I mean, he's even right now, he is not in America. Like he didn't pull up to Rolling Loud because he's in Paris.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to pull back up to America right now. So it's like, you know, I'm appreciative to have been able to do that.
That's fine. You know, I love that. And I love how you're able to get him comfortable and like kind of, you know what I'm saying? But and also like backtracking on like the live from the pits too, right? Because I didn't get to ask this, right? You just put out the Nesbem one at 705, right? What has been like what has been the best? Who has the best live in the pit? Which live in the pit has been the most challenging? Okay. And which live in the pit did you fear for your life?
Okay, so I'll start with the fear for your life. I feared for my life at Homicide Gang live from the pit because they had a like rage, like they had a rock band opener. And that was the most viral one also because I remember like I remember they said, okay, this is not, like, when I was talking to, like, the people before I jumped into the pit, they were like, yo, this isn't a mosh pit. I'm like, well, what is this? They were like, this is a crowd kill. I said, what? They were like, listen, we're going to go in there and just swing our arms. I'm like, yo. So that's what, like, I was weaving, but, like, it was a guy bloody in that one. That was, like, that was the second one we did and the most viral to this day just because of, like, somebody lifted me up and spun me around. That shit was crazy. That shit, I was like, okay, like maybe I bit off a little bit more than I could chew with this one. That one was for the rage group was called like Fade or some shit like that.
But it was a band.
Yeah, it was a band, and like it was like a rock group. So that was the one I feared for my life and was also the most viral. But the most challenging one was probably Yeats at Brooklyn Mirage before they closed it. That was like 2 summers ago, I think.
Was it Brooklyn Mirage or
what's the other Brooklyn?
Monarch?
It might have been Monarch because it was like an outdoor venue.
Yeah,
it was.
That's still open. It's still open.
Okay, so yeah,
I know what show you're talking about.
Yeah.
That spot's still open.
Yeah, the Yeet at Brooklyn Monarch because like Benny X was DJing because it was the air was so thick because of the temperature outside.
Yeah.
Plus the heat of the pits, so like you couldn't breathe. So it was like the first rule in a mosh pit is you have to stay in motion. You have to stay moving. But because I'm fucking asking questions and shit, I'm out of breath. Like, I'm tired. And so I'm trying to catch my breath, but I can't because I have to stay in motion and it's hot. So you can't really breathe. That one was OD. It was either that one or Destroy Lonely at Summer Smash 2 years ago. Because you just can't do live from the pits at festivals because there's too much space.
Yeah.
It's so much space that the pits become massive. And then when they close, you're like in a whirlpool. You can't get out of it. At regular rap shows at venues, there's multiple pits. Like there's like one pit here, one pit there. So it's like if this pit closes, I'll just jump into that pit. And mind you, we're shooting this for like 15 minutes. It's a short thing. Like that video is like 10 minutes worth of footage. So it's like we're in and out. But at a fucking festival, it's like I'm in the middle of a field.
Yeah.
And if I go into the middle of this mosh pit, once it closes, I don't know where I'm at. I don't know how we get out of here, which direction is out. I just know where the stage is, but what direction is the closest direction to get out of there? Because we're in GA. And you know the GA fucking crowd can be a fucking ocean, especially for like main shows like Lone or like Cardi or whoever. Or like when we did Travis Scott at Coachella last year. Never again. Never again. Because it was just the dust. It's put my life on the line for that shit, man. I can't do too many more live in the pits. The kids love it, and I love everybody who showed love at the Netspin one. They were like, yo, Jordan, you have to come back out here. I'm like, y'all, Unc is tired. Like, my back cannot take much more of this, y'all.
I ain't gonna lie. I think like 27 was like probably my last mosh pit year too.
I can't do this much longer, but I am glad y'all like it. But, dog. Shit takes it out of me for real.
Yeah. Well, okay, what about who had the best mosh pit?
The best? Net is up there.
Okay, Netspin.
The Netspin pits are up there. Because I did 2 Netspins. I've done so fucking many. Probably like Net or Ken. Because Ken's pits go crazy. And I feel like just their audiences know how to rage responsibly. And like help people. Like,
oh shit,
if someone falls or like if fucking like someone loses their phone, like they'll kind of momentarily stop to like let the person look on the floor for shit. Like, it's wholesome, even in the madness. So those 2 stick out the most for me.
I think like I'm trying to think like the craziest pits I've ever been in. 21 Savage.
Okay.
His Monster Outbreak tour in like 20. Shit, man. What year was that? 2018? 2019, something like that. Whichever Outbreak tour he was on for the first project with Metro. Okay. That was crazy. I've been in every single like Travis mosh pit you can probably imagine. I was even at all the Astro Worlds, including that Astro World.
Damn.
I was at that one.
Crazy. Survivor.
Survivor.
Jordan.
I did call it like I survived. No, but like the thing about like that Astro World particular is that like I already had like a sense early that day. I'm like, oh, this is more people than last year,
right? Because
like I had, or the previous years, because I had been to all 3. I'm like, did they expanded the grounds a little bit? I'm like, there's a lot of people here, and like my friends who were with me at the time, they're like, yo, is this normally how packed it is? I'm like, nah. I was like, it's like a little bit more packed than usual. And then I had a VIP wristband, but because I splurged, but like all my friends didn't. But I was just with them in GA, and I remember like they're like, let's go all the way to the front, and I said, no. I was like, no. I was like, I'm not new to this, guys. I was like, you go all the way to the front. I was like, boy, we stuck there. If we go all the way from, like, look at that, like, because there was just so many people there already. And the past the 2 years before that, I had one with my ex, so like I already kind of knew what the vibe was. I'm like, no, like let's stay middle back.
Right.
And like there was, like you said, there's still plenty mosh pit, so I was still moshing, and like we didn't know anything happened until like 3 a.m. that night. Like I really had no idea anything was wrong until people woke me up out my sleep checking to see if I was good. That was,
see, it's good you didn't go into that madness,
bro. Yeah, but like, yeah, use your like, like think before you go into some of these mosh pits, because it does get really hectic. I'm trying to think of like any other ones I went into. I think I was in the mosh pits at like the XXL 2017 show.
Okay.
Whichever show had like XXX and all them. Like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, he didn't show up to that one, but I was definitely in the mosh pits for like Ugly God.
Yeah.
At the time.
Ugly God.
But like, yeah, man, my mosh pit days are over. I started getting the itch right at Rolling Loud. Right? I go out. When we were at Rolling Loud together. Like I was like, forgot who I was watching. I was at Slayer set. Slayer was actually the only.
Shout out to Slayer.
Shout out Slayer, man. Like
Next
one of the most incredible young like artists. Like I was talking to him and Easy Cody Lee at the beginning. Two incredible guys. Also really cool people. And that was like one of the only sets. That was really one of the only sets I saw that weekend. And I'm looking at the mosh pit, and like I think I looked at Cam. And I like smiled at him, and I'm getting the itch again, man.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I still got it in me. Like, if honestly, give me like 3 minutes.
Facts.
Like, if it's somebody that I really fuck with,
yeah,
and I go in there with one of my mans, I could do like a 3-minute mosh pit real quick.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying?
One song, like, you know what I mean? Like a quick one song.
Yeah.
Mosh, like, yeah, because you know what, like, you know, I feel like it is an extreme sport to do it, but I understand why, still to this day, like why kids keep doing it. Because it's like, it's a release. It's like an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
It's kind of like this community collective experience.
Yeah.
Of like all being just as lit as physically possible.
They had the mosh pit, like they had the I don't know what to count, mosh pit daily, something like that. They like had they had like locations to meet up at Rolling Loud.
Yes, yo, and that's one thing I learned starting Live from the Pit. Because I started Live from the Pit because it was originally a story I was writing. Essentially, I was like, post-COVID, I wanted to know how rap shows changed. So I was like, let me go talk to these kids at these rap shows and ask them, like, you know, do you mosh differently? Do you experience rap shows differently now that we're like in a post-COVID world where concerts are now just starting to happen? And through that, I learned that like there's communities of moshers, 175 TV, like these other like mosh community groups that like all have discords that like they communicate and coordinate when shows are happening. They will all go at the same time. They'll have flags and they'll have like uniforms almost, and they'll all link up for rap shows just to mosh at. And in doing that and talking to these kids, I was like, well, I should like ask them, like, almost on some like Hot Ones mentality of like, you are more inclined to tell the truth when you are in peril. So like Sean is a genius, and Chris and everybody who was behind Hot Ones, because they realized that like if you're eating a hot wing, you cannot lie. So like whatever question I ask you, you're going to tell the truth. Same with a mosh pit. If you're fighting for your life in this mosh pit, if I ask you when was the last time you were in love, or like, what do you want to be remembered for? Yeah. You won't have a time to like think of a cool answer or like whatever. Like you're tired, you're hot, and you're in peril. So you're going to just tell me the truth immediately. Right. And that's what I realized in doing that. And that came from me talking to these kids and seeing that there's like these micro communities at Mosh Pit. So you're spot on. Like Rolling Loud is like one of the main joints they be at and shit. Yeah. Like all those festivals.
So let's like review Rolling Loud this year. Go ahead, Jordan. You first.
How honest?
I think like you were outside more in the actual thing. I was in the press center the whole time because I was just, you know, I was hot. But like, what was your like review of like Rolling Loud this year?
My review of Rolling Loud this year. So I've been to a lot of Rolling Louds. Okay. And I'll say this. Rolling Loud 2026 Orlando was better than I thought it would be. In that there was a lot of expectations with YB. When YB pulled out, there was understandable panic. Yeah. And I was very skeptical when like they replaced him with Ken Carson. I'll be honest. Like, Ken is great. I didn't know if he was ready to be at festival headliner night level. But he performed based on like what the conversation I saw around his performance was. Like, it seemed like even when they had announced it at the beginning of the weekend, people were as hyped for Ken as they were for Cardi. And being at Cardi's set on Saturday, Cardi got to drop Baby Boy. Cardi's getting into a space where some kids are getting tired of Evil Jordan and the joints off of music. So I think Cardi needs new music because some of the stuff was getting stale on that set list, but everybody still had fun. But honestly, I think the people who stole the show were the camp tent, or the tent stage. Slayer, Nine Vicious, Lil O was at Osama Son was at Verizon.
Your boy B-Jax?
B-Jax, who had wrestlers at
Fire.
his set.
Fire. Shout out B-Jax.
Shout out to fucking B-Jax, Jersey's finest. Like, that stage felt like the breeding ground for, like, next-gen stars. Like, especially when we talk about Slayer. Like, Slayer, possibly set of the weekend.
Skrilla did the zigzag stage too.
Skrilla.
I caught Skrilla at the end of Skrilla set when he was doing 6-7. Crazy.
Like, I just feel like the 10 stages are always the ones where you really catch people. Like, I remember watching Net Spend at 10th stage of Summer Smash 2 years ago before his, like, blow up. And that's when I bought in. Like, seeing, and I think that was also the same year that Blackboy Max did his first live performance. That was also at the 10th stage at Summer Smash.
What's it called then, Cam? It's not the 10th stage.
They were at Verizon stage.
No, they were at the Verizon stage. They were at the middle stage.
Yeah. Osama Son and Shay, they upgraded to like that middle stage. But like all the 10th stage kids just like show out every single time. So that was really the highlight for me. What is your review? How did you feel?
How did I feel?
How did you feel about
as someone who didn't like? It was funny because like me and Speedy, you saw me. We were all together.
Yeah.
Me and Speedy were kind of like just in the tug. Like we're like, yeah, we're just gonna hang out in here the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not because like I fuck with like most of the lineup because a lot of them started on OTR. So like I fuck with a lot of the lineup. It just was just like, you know, sometimes like just because like we believe in people early, like that doesn't mean like I'm always entirely a fan of their music.
Right.
I see the vision with them,
right?
And I see the movement, and I see everything about them. And then like the young people I keep around me are like, yo, they're about to be the one. So like that kind of combines, pushes the artist, and then they blow up and whatnot. But like seeing Slayer's set like made me like very like happy. Like that felt like very like that was a very cool like I did see a little bit of Soulja Boy set. I'll get to that in a second. But like I saw like Slayer's set was like very cool because like he brought out Easy Cody Lee, and then. You know, I talked to the boys backstage. The boys were like very, you know, grateful for like OTR and what we've done for them, which is like always great to hear. But like, I'm not really here for that. Like, I want to see them perform, and so it was cool seeing Slayer like do his thing, and like, you know, that was really cool. And then like a lot of the other sets, I kind of watched on the live stream in that room with Speedy.
Yeah.
So I had seen like. I really love like SD Kid really did the thing
with the
you know
the castle and shit.
Nobody did that weekend like he did.
Yeah.
In my opinion, right. Nobody else had like a crazy set. Oh, Don had a crazy set too. I'll give Don had a good set.
Don's was cool.
Don had a good set, but I think like in terms of like holy shit, like I think SD Kid had my favorite one. Yeah. Just because it's like. It was like Osama Son had like those audio problems where like 4 tracks were playing at the same time. Like no. That didn't happen? Then what was that? It was a meme? Oh, okay. Then I'm wrong. Thanks, Cam. But then like
the fact checker.
Thanks, fact checker. But then like okay, but then the Nine Vicious shit. In fact check, it was controversial because you know he's dissing like
he was wilding.
You know he's dissing people. So like when I feel like once you start like dissing somebody during a set, it kind of like lowers it for me in terms of like how impactful it is. Because I'm like damn, like now it's like a lot of the conversation around like, while his set was incredible, a lot of the conversation is like. Shifting from like, oh, this is incredible to like, yo, you heard what he said, you know? And like, I think SD Kid is like such a polarizing figure right now because it's like, he got like one album out, right? He's got a Fortnite skin now, which is crazy off one album.
He's on that Yeet, you know, that Yeats track of like the mysterious, not showing your face, different
but people still knew what Yeet looked like back then though.
Yeah.
Like Yeet still used to like people knew what Yeet looked like. Nobody really knows what this kid looks like. Allegedly, I've heard things, but like, nobody really knows what this kid looks like. And then the kid pulls up with like knights and an armored castle, like really kind of leading into like, you know, one, his aesthetic, but also kind of like memes about the UK too, like and all that. And then like the sword on fire, I'm like, yo, nah.
Yeah.
I was like, he's doing it because like I like while the like I think like where Cardi is in his career, like I feel like you're right, he should drop another album. But I feel like he's in the same position that Travis Scott was like 5 years ago.
Yes, exactly.
Where it's like, oh, okay, Astroworld, Rodeo, like he's doing all these headlining shows, but now people are like, you know, he's giving people almost the same set every single time just because, you know, it's just he's doing it over and over and over again. So I think that maybe that's where fans are with it.
Yeah,
because
like
now fans are kind of like, okay, like they're growing to that age where Cardi, where they're like, okay, now we need something new, and then now it's up to him to drop like his Euphoria or Utopia, sorry, not Euphoria, Utopia, and kind of like change that narrative and show the growth, and which he showed a lot on music too, like the songs with like Weeknd and Kendrick. I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting this, but this is fire. But I think like overall, like when the lineup dropped, I remember people like this is ass, whatever, and like I kind of like I spoke with Tariq like on this pod, and Tariq and I like he, you know, pretty much was like, yo, we got to like foster the next generation of stars and And I agree with him a lot. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, like I could still be like, oh, I wish we had like some more legacy artists on there. You know, like also like I think putting like Rich the Kid at the same time as Playboi Carti's kind of crazy.
Very much so.
But like putting Soulja Boy at the same time as Ken Carson kind of works because there was still a decent amount of people at Soulja Boy set.
Yeah.
So I think like, you know, having more legacy, like I remember we were down there. I'm like, damn, like I might just be like the New Yorker in me, but like I'm like, yo, imagine we had Jadakiss this weekend.
Right.
Like we could just one like older artist. You feel me?
Yeah, I agree. I think that's like,
and that's really me. Like and like also like I'm not like always into like 90s hip. Like I don't always want to listen to 90s hip hop.
Right.
I'm more like into the younger shit anyway. But like I was like, damn, I wouldn't mind hearing like a Jada, because I think about like when X had his Rolling Loud set.
facts.
You know what I'm saying?
It was like 21 or.
It was like 2021, yeah, 2021,
Yeah.
whatever, or 2019, one of those years. But
Yeah.
like think about it, like X was touching the kids. That sounded crazy. X was touching the youth. DMX was touching the youth at that set.
Yeah.
Because like even though people didn't really, even if these kids didn't know who DMX was, X and like XXX Tentacion were like in vibes alone.
For sure.
Alive are not really that different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the mosh shit was still probably the exact same, if not like crazier.
Yeah.
So I think like, you know, but there's I don't know who's like a comparable DMX that would fit on that festival now, you
Yeah,
know
because
what I'm saying?
like you're right. Like X was like one of the like predecessors of Rage, of the Rage we see today, and just of like how his crowds would go, and like who else matches that? Where like people who are there to see Ken or who are there to see Cardi or YB would also vibe to like what OG of that. I mean, he's not an OG per se, but like I feel like Waka fits that. Even though
Waka will be perfect.
Yeah, but like Waka isn't like an Wayne. Yeah, but Wayne is too expensive.
Yeah, that's the problem, because like all the people who everybody keeps, like Tarek said, everybody complains about how good the lineups used to be, but all those people are headliners now.
Exactly,
every single one of them.
Yeah, Wayne would not ever do a non-headlining, or even like you need one of those people like when it's slightly daylight. Like I think Waka would still do a set
in the daytime.
And he would have that. The first live from the pit we ever did was at a Waka Flocka set at Dreamville Fest. That was the first one we ever tried to do. And it was lit. Like that was the only like mosh pit person at Dreamville Fest that year. That was like 2019 or 2020 or whichever one Dreamville Fest had came back for. It was that year. And it might have been 21 or 22. And yeah, like that was the only mosh pit artist.
Yeah, I feel like overall, like I'm even looking at this like the lineup again. Like they did their thing. Like I'm not mad at it. I did notice that some people like got removed from the lineup the day of the show. Like I think K3 was supposed to perform, but like she didn't end up performing. I don't know what's going on with that. I feel like that's just like an Orlando logistical thing.
Probably. Yeah.
But like I did appreciate like, you know, I appreciated like Five Venoms bringing out like Fergie Baby and like bringing out a bunch of like Christian artists too. I thought that was really dope and really powerful. I think like Baby Chief Do It had like one of the sleeper sets of the whole weekend.
That boy,
like,
shout out to my bro. Yeah, he's
different.
Fire live performer.
And like even Molly said was like super dope too. But Molly said you could tell like now knowing what we know now with the Drake, like you could see why her energy was so high, because she knew, she's like, oh yeah, this next week is about to be like the craziest week of my life. So like I gotta perform now to, you know what I'm saying? And then doing the stuff with Northwest was also really cool too. So I think I like Baby Mel. I don't know what happened to Baby Mel. Baby Mel didn't get to do his set either, and I love Baby Mel. Anyway, but overall, I think they did a good job. I think like as hip hop grows this next year, it's gonna be interesting to see like what ends up next year. Like if it's still gonna be this underground vibe, or is it gonna also, are we gonna kind of, because like, you know, right now the South is having like especially like Dallas has like this huge like trap music, Get Money music type of thing, and we saw that with Rosama's part of, you know, the Sixers with
Big X and them.
Big X and them. So like I'm interested to see like how hip hop evolves this next year, especially with this lineup, because I feel like next year it could be different. It could be like similar with the underground, but you know the thing I feel like with the underground is like they come up but they go down a lot quicker. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. I like it. I liked it though. I thought everybody did great. Rugrat had an insane set too, which I'm super proud of him for. I'm trying to think who else that I really liked this weekend. And I loved how they incorporated like Sky's Your God. Sky's Your God is a Chinese rapper.
Yeah, I was getting put on to him while I was out there.
He just did OTR today too.
Oh, fire!
Which is like, I think that like it's cool that Tariq sees that vision, you know, of like, oh, like hip hop is like so much bigger than America now, and at some point like you got to start accepting that.
Facts.
And I think like American audience. I mean, look at SD Kid. SD Kid obviously UK, but I feel like SD Kid is kind of like I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Because, like, we were talking about, like, SD Kid and Sench and, like, kind of, like, the difference between both. But, like, I feel like SD Kid is kind of like a Vibes Cartel of, like, the UK for me. And when I say that, but, like, the reason why I say that, because that's a very strong thing to, like, kind of, like, compare it to. But I mean it more in, like, cultural impact. Like, I think, like, what he's doing with in the UK rap scene, I think is going to be, like, remembered for a while. Because it's just, like, who else is like blown up that quickly off of one album from the UK that we know about? Like Sense was a steady build up, and then he had Doja, and then boom, that blew up. That was like the commercial hit, But like on like this type of level on hip hop alone, I can't really think of anyone who's like,
not to this level. Like Dave, like had a steady rise, and even still, like Dave isn't as big in the States as Sench, even though Dave had a fire LA Leakers.
Oh, insane.
Like he dropped like a 7 minutes on some crazy shit. Dave is like very, very, very great at rapping. But yeah, I think in terms of like the virality.
His last album's incredible.
Yeah, like the boy who plays the harp.
Yeah.
Fire as fuck. Ranked really high for me. But yeah, I think in terms of like that virality that you're talking about, SD Kid that's why I see him similarly in the Yeet trajectory, because it's like, I think SD Kid is like one picture with Drake away from having that moment.
One picture with Drake is mad funny.
Do you remember that time when Yeet had a picture with Drake and like Travis and like the same night? And like, I feel like that. I remember that. I feel like that was what then set him into like the super mainstream trajectory and shit. Like I feel like SD Kid is in that same way. Like he had the Timothy Chalamet shit, but I feel like he's like one Drake picture away from like I think in the UK he's gonna be I think Sench is gonna be like the most viral one out of the UK and probably will stay the biggest, but I think SD Kid, Vibes Cartel might be the most influential in the long haul. Okay. That's interesting. That's
on a UK level, yeah.
Yeah.
You think about it's like the Vibes Sean Paul conversation.
Right.
Sean Paul got the hits.
But then Vibes has like the impact.
The impact, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just how I think about it.
Yo, I mean, that Rolling Loud set was definitely a calling card for that, because it was also packed as fuck.
No, it was crazy. It was crazy. Well, moving on from Rolling Loud, overall, I think I like it. I don't know how I feel about Orlando again. I love Orlando. That's a city that I go to a lot, but like I'm just like I get it. It's more space. It was still just as hot. Truly, I feel like the breeze might have over the Miami water might have hit a little bit better.
I'm gonna be honest, Tariq, Carrie, the whole Rolling Loud family, I love y'all. Get that shit out of Orlando, gang.
No, I don't do them like that.
Please. No, I swear to God. I'm not even a Miami nigga. Like, I don't even really rock. Like, I would never move to Miami. Get that shit out of Orlando.
Well, they can't do Miami because of F1.
I know, but like, move the date. Do something. Because, like, y'all can't make me go back to Orlando. I'm sorry.
Why don't you like Orlando?
Nah, like, that was my first time in Orlando, and I swear to God, I hope it's my last. Like,
wow, why do you hate Orlando?
Like,
wait, hold on.
Like, no shade to all, like, folk that from Orlando or whatever. Out of all, like, I've been to Tampa, I've been to Orlando felt like how can I say this without being totally disrespectful? Orlando, this you only get this if you're from the city. Orlando was like the Hunts Point of Florida. like I'll go there if I live there or if I have a family that's from there. But like for no other reason do I want to be there.
That was crazy, bro.
For no other reason. And look, the festival was cool. The festival.
Only reason he called it the Hunts Point is because we were talking about like
we were just talking about
Yams
Hunts
Day
Point
from like years ago.
Bronx. But it's like,
oh my god,
like shout out to the BX. But it's like even if you're from the BX, like you're not really trying to go to Hunts Point. so it's like point being Orlando.
My dad from the South Bronx. I'm not doing this BS slander. I'm not. I want to make it very clear. I'm not participating in this. He's from Jersey.
I'm from Jersey, Jersey City. You shitting me? So it's like, okay.
Okay. All right, stop it.
So the last point on this. Okay, to give it a Jersey example for my Jersey watches, it's like the Atlantic City of Florida. Like you don't go to Atlantic City unless you deadass have to go there. That's my only point.
Yeah, I can understand that Atlantic City shit. It was definitely like given like by the arena, but like that's every arena. Every arena, the around the arena, it always gives GTA server.
Not even that. It's just like, bro.
Yo, you laughing because you agree with me. Because it's just like the most random shit was happening around the arena when we're walking back to the car. I'm like, this one guy's like yelling on his phone with his girl. I'm like, yo, bro, like just go see your girl, bro. Like go yell at her in person. Like oh my god, they had the Black Israelites.
Oh yeah, I saw them. Yeah.
Yo, they was mad at Cam because Cam was just ignoring them. they're like, brother, it's free information. And Cam's just like there with his strap bag, like, nah, I don't want that.
Yeah, bro. It's like, why do I feel like I'm on fucking Canal?
And it was on every corner, bro. I thought I was on the Parkway, the way that they were out there. I was like, yo.
And it was hot as fuck. That street that you talk about, it felt like 100 degrees out there.
Yes, bro.
That damn concrete in them hot ass cars.
Oh my god.
Hell no. Whatever. Shout out to Rolling Loud, man.
Shout out to Rolling Loud, man. Shout out Carrie. Shout out Tara. Shout out the whole team. Moving on, the shit that we really want to talk about, that we've been waiting to talk about, Drake. Where do you want to start? Because I got like your tweets.
Let's start. I mean, obviously we got to start with Iceman. 3 albums, but Iceman I felt like was the most important.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I feel like, you know, there's always like reminders that rap fans are fickle.
Yeah.
But for years, people always used to say like, yo, like, I just wish Drake would bar down for like multiple tracks. And like, I just wish he would like fuck the hooks and the melodic shit and just get on a Conductor Williams soul sample. Yo.
Which he did on For All the Dogs, by the way.
Which he did, but he did it on the deluxe because...
he did it on 8 a.m. in Charlotte.
Which was one track on like a...
It was.
He did it more on the deluxe, but this shit, dog, if you are that person, which I was kind of like that person, I did wish...
I was definitely that person too.
Yeah, like I wanted to hear Drake bar down. Like, there's at least 6 songs on this 15 song album that is just bar down, make them cry, whisper my name, shebang to an extent, make them pay, national treasures, make them remember.
So good. It's just all so good.
Like what's it called? Firm Friends, which is my favorite song.
Wait, it's more than 15 songs. Keep scrolling. Scroll all the way down. Oh, there you go. There you go. It's 18. It's 18.
Yeah. Make them know. Firm Friends. Like, there's bar. Like, listen, I said this. I made a video about this today.
Yeah.
I tweeted it. I will say it again on record. Iceman is the best solo Drake album since Views. I'm going to give it one more week before I decide if it's better or worse than Views. We talk about Iceman.
All right, hold on one second. Hold on. I actually got to tell him, I'm about to talk shit about my friend on the pod, and I'm telling her right now, hold on, about you on the pod.
Crazy
and your
live text.
And your Drake takes. Now, we won't get her response live, because, bro, she listened to, like, Maid of Honor and her BT first, and she's like, she I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna say it. Look, I love Drake and Kendrick equally. I came up, we in our late 20s, bro.
Yeah,
we came up in that time I was in mosh pits at Kendrick shows.
Yeah, I'm a Cole stan, so it's like I have no.
You are a Cole stan.
I have no dog in this fight. You feel what I'm saying?
I go lie. The boy changed my life, so I'll never switch. y'all know my vibes.
Yeah, you did.
I don't switch sides, but the TD folks, those my people still. Like Ray Vaughn, all them, those my homies. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to this shit, I'm definitely very biased. However, I will say that like Iceman as a whole, as a project, it gave me everything that I've been asking for years. Like when Scary Hours 2 dropped, I was like, this is cool. But even some of the tracks on Scary Hours 2, I didn't love. Like I didn't really love like Wickman like that.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
There was just a few records. What? But I
didn't really like Wickman either. I can't lie. Or even Red Button. Like I didn't really.
Shout out Cass though.
Shout out to Overcast,
Shout out
of course.
Overcast.
But like,
I like Red Button.
Okay.
I like Story About My Brother.
So
I like
that's one of the best.
That's
and
one of the
Evil
best
Ways,
ones,
recall. Evil Ways.
Evil Ways is tough. I like Evil Ways.
Super tough.
But my whole thing was like, I'm like, all I wanted was for him to rap for like, because like I feel like with every Drake album over the last couple years, while he is my GOAT, like I pick and choose what songs I like from it.
For sure.
Like I feel like there hasn't been like an album for a while that I would just listen from top to bottom. That I would just be like, okay, like I would just put in the car from top to bottom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I always kind of skip to my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Like on For All the Dogs, like the one with 21 Savage, that like, thank you. Calling for You, I'll do Calling for You. Wait, slow down. Calling for You, First Person Shooter, of course.
Yeah.
I'd probably skip Daylight Scare. Seven, what is this? 7-9-6-9 Santa. I always play that shit. Slime You Out, love that shit. Bahama Promises, love that shit. Tried Our Best, love that shit. Like, there's a lot of songs like all the Parties, the Chief Keef sample, or the one with Chief Keef on it. Not my favorite.
The first half of it is good.
8 a.m. in Charlotte, I always go to 8 a.m. in Charlotte. Rich Baby Daddy was like the way too sexy of that album for me.
For sure.
Where it's like, I like it the first day and I hear it in the club, but then I get tired of it after a while. Another Late Night with Yachty was really good. I enjoyed that one. And then Gently with Bad Bunny was cool, but also I was kind of like, damn, I kind of wish they took a different direction Spanish-wise for this track. But that's coming as a Puerto Rican. But yeah, like I feel like Iceman is like easily his best body of work that I've enjoyed.
Right.
Since like Certified Lover Boy.
And that's the most important thing about fucking music listening.
I've enjoyed, first of all, you side, not you, George. You side, I enjoyed all of his albums, but I'm saying to the same way that I ran Certified Lover Boy into the ground, I'm going to run this into the ground. No, he's not that type of artist.
Yeah.
The reason why this album is so perfect is because he took what he usually does and has all these different genres on an album to feed every piece of his fan base. But he was like, no. He said, instead of overwhelming all y'all all at once, I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. I'm going to get out my fucking deal, and everybody's going to get their piece. You know what I'm saying? Like, For All the Dogs, literally, if you put all three of these albums together sonically, they equal For All the Dogs, right? Yes, they do. No, but For All the Dogs has at least each genre that he touched on these projects. For All the Dogs has. I'm pretty sure there's a dance record on For All the Dogs. He's got the twerk record with Sexy. He's got the rapping on conductor beats with 8 a.m. in Charlotte. He's got kind of like the singing shit that he did with like Virginia Beach, or like with the record with Tizo.
Yeah.
Or yeah. But like everything but like this project For All the Dogs, For All the Dogs has every type of Bahama Promises. He's literally singing on the whole song. So this album right here, For All the Dogs, has all these different genres on it, right? And the Scary Hours version has 30 songs, right? Almost 30 songs, 29 songs. But what he did was he just took this and said 1, 2, 3. What you like, you like. Because this motherfucker over here hasn't even listened to Iceman yet, but he loves Maid of Honor, right? I love Iceman. My homegirl, who I ain't gonna lie, was talking spicy to me about The Boy. I was like, Boy's back tonight. He said, we back. I said, you know what it is? It's OVO season.
Yeah.
She's like, whatever, bro. She's like, let's see if he actually raps tonight.
Yeah.
She listened to the first two albums, Maid of Honor and Habiti. She hated those. She's like, I'm not gonna listen to Iceman. I'm like, nah, you gotta listen to Iceman. So that's the one you like. So like, that's what are we doing with More Life? More Life had all the different vibes too.
But and see, he called More Life a playlist.
It was a
when
playlist.
It came out.
No,
Nah, he was. I think
Honestly,
album,
never mind.
Bro, he let Gordo produce like how many tracks on Habiti?
I think he produced like almost all of them. Like
yeah. That's experimental. Shout out Gordo, aka DJ Carnage.
Big shout out to Gordo.
One of my favorite DJs I've ever seen live, by the way. He's crazy sets. But like I feel like we got what we wanted.
Yeah,
I'm actually so satisfied.
That's what
Drake is 4 people. Literally.
It's like one artist that's 4 people
Yeah.
against people that's doing the same thing.
Yo, when I remember when Honestly Nevermind came out, and I wrote a review because I liked Honestly Nevermind when it first came out, because my take was that Honestly, Nevermind was the first time Drake was making an album for himself, in the sense that, like we were just talking about, every album he approaches it trying to do a little something for everybody. Give the rap fans something to eat off of. Give the R&B fans something to eat off of. But in this era of his life, he was in fucking Spain and Ibiza.
That's what I'm trying to say.
He was outside, and this was the music he was with. Look, shout out to Gordo. Gordo produced most of this fucking album.
Gordo didn't do, honestly, never. Did Gordo do it? No.
Yeah, Gordo.
No, wasn't it, it was Black Coffee, right? Black Coffee.
No, it was both of them, because I know Gordo did.
Gordo did most of this album too?
Yeah,
Okay, my bad.
Gordo did a few joints on this one too.
But Black Coffee executive produced this album.
Yes. But yeah, Drake was in his house music bag, and he was like, you know what? I'm going to take a left turn. I don't know if my core audience will, like, appreciate this, but this is what I've been listening to, and this is the music I want to make. This was the first time he didn't try to do something for everybody. And that's why I appreciated, now fast forward to today, it's like, okay, you want this? I'll give you this. I'll give you Habibti. You want this? I'll give you Maid of Honor. You want this? I'll give you Iceman. So you can kind of like choose your own adventure. And my adventure was Iceman. And Iceman, literally, I'm fed. Like, I don't get, like, for all of my rap friend pundits, for all of the fucking couch critics, if y'all motherfuckers claim you like hip-hop shit, and you talking shit about this, you're bugging. And I'm not even a Drake stan. I'm honest with.
I lie. Twitter says you a Drake stan, bro.
See, that's nasty. But it's like when he does wrong or when he falls short, I'm honest about it. Iceman is crack. Like, if you thought he wasn't going to throw subs, you don't listen. Because he was throwing subs at Pusha T for like 6 years after they little beef. For 6 years, he doesn't let go of a grudge.
Right.
So if you thought he was going to not bring this shit up, you're tweaking. I'm honestly just appreciative that, especially on that intro, Make Them Cry, he was honest. He was like, listen, like, I'm going through this shit right now. I'm mad paranoid. 2024 cooked me. But here I am. Words like Harry Potter, I'm the boy who lived. That wasn't even on the fucking track. I just made that bar up.
Yeah,
right? That wasn't even on the fucking album.
This is why they be saying what they say about you online.
Okay,
bro.
like, he's the boy who fucking lived. Word to Harry Potter. I'm not a bot. I'm not paid off. I get no tax. I get nothing.
Let's get into Jordan's tweets real quick about Drake. You can leave this here. So a couple tweets Jordan has tweeted about Drake recently. My review on Iceman. The boy who lived somehow managed to come back with better bars than before. We're going to get to that. Stay there. Positive Drake review. This was paid off. Negative Drake review. Another Kendrick stan hating. That's real. That's just Twitter, though. And then you also said the Drake and Future reunion could have been better. Future sounded like he kind of phoned it. And I'm gonna give them a chance to get their chemistry back.
Yeah, so let's touch on that. I feel like Future phoned that shit in. Like, I like the song, but Drake was going the hardest on that song. Like, Drake had two verses. Big shout out to Molly Santana, who we were just talking about. The young rising superstar who's about to probably get her first #1 song, which is fucking insane. I interviewed Molly 2 years ago, and it's just dope to see someone in the underground get this type of look.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I think this was more of a moment for Future of like, okay, this is the olive branch to show y'all that we are cool. Future didn't really do enough for me.
I wish they would have been together in the same room.
That too. Yeah, because actually, good point. I didn't even peep that in the video. They are never physically together, which is a really interesting thing and really insightful of you to point out. But yeah, like, I like the song, but like, Drake does most of the heavy lifting. So I think they have more time to actually get their chemistry back. They weren't playing together, making music together for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I also saw a tweet someone else made. It was like, Future deadass won out of this whole situation because Future had not like that. Future had a fucking #1 record with fucking Like That and what was the album that I was off of? We Don't Trust You. We Don't Trust You. So he got the benefits of that side of the beef, then kind of stepped away, and then came back and is now going to be on this #1 fucking album.
Yep. #1 song too.
And #1 song. So he never got any of the shit. And even like when Drake responded to all the beefs, all the disses, he was like, Future Pluto shit made me sick to my stomach. We ain't never really been through it.
Yeah.
So it's like he just got out of this unscathed, which is very Future-like of him. But yeah.
Also, shout out Molly, man, because I just want to say something.
Talk about
I
it.
put Molly on the radar it was really in 2022, but it didn't come out till 2023.
Right.
And when I put that shit out, this girl had tweeted, she's like, oh, I fuck with Gabe, but like, he be doing anything. And I was like, nah, y'all don't see the vision from Molly. And then this other girl I knew, I hope she sees this shit actually. This other girl I knew tweeted, she said, quoted the tweet and said, she said, laughing my ass off, for real, girl, I'm gonna have to call him. She never called me about that, by the way. And then when I seen Molly go on tour with Don, I thought about that tweet. And now Molly got a song with Drake. And I just want to say, I fucking told you. I want to, Molly, yeah, Northwest is like a big fan of Molly, yeah. But yeah, she brought out that Roll Out. But my whole thing is like, yo, people love, and this is my fucking problem with Twitter, bro.
Talk about it.
Because people don't have like on Twitter, bro. And I got a tweet for this too from you, right? Jordan said, well, no, let me finish this thought and then I'll say the tweet. My problem with Twitter is that people like are such sheep on Twitter that no one can form their own opinion without having to actually voice themselves. Like we've given like everybody having a voice on the internet is not a good thing.
Facts.
Right? Because everybody got like some stupid ass opinion, and the second that they see something that they don't like they have to give their whole hot take about it, right? When it's like, I ain't gonna lie, bro, you're probably the same way too. I'm a hater in private.
Yes.
Like I'm a big hater in private. Like if I don't like something, I'm gonna hate it in private, or I'm gonna send it to the group chat, whatever, right? Or I'm gonna just talk to Dante about it, and then I'm gonna leave it alone after that. Cause I don't care enough to keep hating on it unless I hate you, right? And I think that like whenever like someone new or polarizing comes out, and people just are automatically just like are like, well, this isn't the 90s or the early 2000s, and like they're just like, what is this? It's like this like Asian girl from the West Coast making underground music, and it's like, and they're like, oh, I don't know about da 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 da. But she on a fucking Drake on a #1 song now. 4 years later, 4 years, 3.5 years after we booked her for OTR, and we've been meaning to do something with her. She hit us up last year to do something. We just never, I think dates didn't line up. But like, this is not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it should just be blowing mom, bro. And then like, I can never be like, I'm right, because like I don't want to get people online. I say it on the pod because I don't care, but like, I don't want to go on Twitter and be like, I told y'all, because everybody then it's gonna start a whole new dialogue. I should, man, fuck them people, bro. Just pump my gas.
Then Kirko gonna tweet Gabe P from On the Radar.
Kirko, shout out Kirko.
Shout out to Kirko.
I fuck with Kirko, man. Shout out Kirko.
But yeah, nah, bro. Like, no, you 100% right. It pays to be a hater in private, because it's just like,
it pays to be a hater in private, bro.
It's never worth the fucking to put more attention onto this stupid shit on fucking Twitter, especially because Twitter is a place where everybody has a fucking opinion. But yeah, like I think I tweeted this like a day or two ago. It's like,
let's get into it. Say it.
Yeah, like everybody can people tweet hater shit because they cannot form a functional thought that they can verbalize and speak and explain. But you can redraft, type out again, try to tweet again, whatever nasty ass, stupid ass, hater ass thing you gotta say, because it's fucking Twitter and you don't gotta put your face behind that stupid shit. You can't verbalize, you can't speak it to a person or to a fucking camera, you fucking whack ass, lame ass pussy, bro. Like, it's just
clap it up for Jordan, man. Clap it up for Jordan Rose, man.
Everybody, like, you know, it's nasty. It's nasty. Learn how to actually articulate what the fuck you think if you are really willing to hate on some shit. Because to hate means you need to be able to stand on that shit. Not just tweet it one time, and then when people respond to you, ignore it or troll.
So what you said that I was going to bring up, you didn't say it just now, but you had tweeted, you said rap would be better off without Twitter.
Facts.
I agree.
Facts. Because even like this album,
the culture in general will be better off without Twitter.
This album is a perfect example, because I respect everybody who loved it or hated it with reason. It's like, the way you feel is the way you feel. I would never like look at you differently for how you feel.
Music is subjective.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you feel how you feel towards it. But Twitter has made it a thing where everybody's opinions are magnified, but worse, you might inform somebody else's opinion by accident, in the sense of like, if you're someone who is easily influenced,
persuaded,
if like I'm like a 19-year-old kid listening to this album and I don't know exactly how I feel about it, rather than looking inwards and trying to figure it out, I'm gonna go to Twitter, and if somebody slightly pushes me one direction, I'm going to then adopt that opinion, which is like the worst thing that could ever happen to critical thinking and to music consumption. Because back in the day, motherfuckers had to actually form opinions on they shit and then share it and then infer from there where they go with it.
Yeah. You know what I kind of noticed lately too? Because like, you know, when with OTR, like we find like people before they blow up.
Right.
So like, you know, the typical comment is y'all be letting anybody up there. But now I've seen that actually like expand past OTR and has gone to like all these different other platforms too. Mm-hmm. B-Jax just posted it.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh, they be letting anybody up there. We're talking about B-Jax doing Rolling Loud.
Yeah,
they don't know that this motherfucker got hundreds of millions of streams
and did mad performances before Rolling Loud.
Right. And I'm trying to think of another one. I saw they said that about somebody on Colors like not too long ago too. Somebody who's like very super abstract and different. I'd seen that. I thought it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking up? Oh, he's looking up OTR Molly Santana. But like but anyway, but like I've seen that like expand now from it like it was never solely just an OTR thing, but like I've seen it expand now from like OTR to like other platforms. Like that's kind of like the main thing that people go to now whenever they just see something that they don't understand or they've never seen before, they don't like. It's like we've lost the ability to just like see something and be like, oh, this is something new and different. I either like it or I don't like it. To now they just assume that like people are doing anything. When it's not people are doing anything. It's like if we're doing things for a reason.
Right.
Targ is putting people on Rolling Loud for a reason. We're putting people on OTR for a reason. You're interviewing people or talking about certain people for a reason. You did Molly Santana and Georgiana. I'm sure you got a lot of hate for doing Georgiana.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Georgiana got a song with Youngboy out right now.
Yo, Georgiana gave me a great quote about...
Shout out my sis.
Yeah, shout out to Georgiana. Shout out to Molly Santana. Georgiana gave me such an insightful quote about her figuring out how to litigate her deal and like how she didn't sign the first thing that she got offered because she had a good lawyer.
She did have a good lawyer. Shout out her lawyer, man.
Yeah, and like how her lawyer was like, no, you shouldn't take this. You should take that. And like that was the quote that went viral because it was like she actually knew what the fuck she was talking about. Yeah. But it's like if you just judge a book by its cover or if you just listen to what someone else said about somebody without giving them a fair shake, you would have never even got to that point. That's the worst part about it. It's like you're not giving people the fair shake. You don't have to fuck with somebody, but at least don't fuck with them off of things that you have ideas and opinions you have formed. Not an opinion someone else formed that you adopt. That's what's my biggest issue with, I mean, Twitter in general, but especially when it comes to fucking music, something that you have to experience on your fucking own to really have an opinion about.
Yeah. I agree. And I think, and you know, the reason why I said the pump my gas thing, I think TP, you know TP? Yeah, I think TP tweeted about that because, you know, we got the music industry graduates on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got the music industry graduates on Twitter. But kind of getting back to the main point and talking about the boy, right? You said, like, and well, it's kind of lines up with what we're talking about. You said, I've seen such brain dead takes about this new Drake music, and I think what bothers me most is that people can't go back to what you said, cannot actually articulate what their thoughts are outside of tweets. And I think my biggest issue with the reception of this album was that it was like, you stayed up all night listening to it for the most part. I didn't listen to everything all night because I understood that I wasn't going to get my vibe off the first night. I needed to like live with it all weekend so I went to sleep. But when I woke up the next day and I was reading everybody's thoughts, like, you know, the tweets were like, let's say I woke up at like 10 a.m. The tweets like 6, 7, 8, 9 hours old. But I'm like, there was people shitting on the album, some streamers too. And I'm like, bro, the album came out like, we're not even 12 hours into this thing being out and you guys are already talking about it. How can you guys like judge a body of work without living with it first? Exactly. Like that's why I can never like give an opinion on anything once it comes out. Like I need to like listen to it a meticulous amount of times. I need to be hanging out with bad bitches, listening to her BT, doing Molly or something. I don't know. Made an honor. I gotta be like uptown with some baddies with
hookah.
With Dante with hookah. You know what I'm saying? Iceman, I need to be hitting my PR in the gym.
Real.
You know what I'm saying? Or somebody needs to do me real dirty and I need to put on Iceman. Like, I don't understand like the like I get like the articulated opinions about, oh, maybe he hasn't grown, oh, maybe this is all about the beefs and the, you know, whatever.
For sure.
Which I definitely understand all those opinions and I think I value those opinions because I don't necessarily think that like those opinions are wrong, but I also don't agree with them.
Right.
And like I can articulate that.
That's the biggest point. It's like I fully understand like my peers or friends who feel like like I think this is just coming off bitter or scornful or like petty and I don't like it because of that. I fully understand that and respect it. We don't have to agree for me to respect what you're saying. I respect what you're saying when you can articulate how you feel.
Yes.
If you're just like trash, And I ask why, and you're like, it's just because it's trash. I can't respect that. You know what I mean? It's like you have to be able to give some type of reasoning for your like or dislike. That's why whenever I review something or whenever I get on camera to say I like or don't like something, I make sure I have very exact reasoning for why.
Same.
There are certain artists who like I've had bad experiences with who I will have a personal bias against, but I won't put that into like my review of their music because that has nothing to do with the thing that they made. I feel like a lot of people, for rational reasons or not, have issues with a lot of these massive artists like a Drake, like a Dot, like a Cole, and they'll put their personal bias into their critiques of the music. So if you didn't like Drake for whatever reason that's outside of the music, you're going to put that into your critique, and then you won't really articulate that. And that's an issue. You know what I mean? It's like, I see that, motherfuckers had a problem with Cole because he pulled out of the fucking rap beef. So then when he dropped the Fall Off, they were like, I'm not even really trying to give this a listen because that's not valid, bro.
I was tight he dropped out of it, but I still listened to the Fall Off.
Exactly. And at least you gave it that listen.
It was a good album. I like the album.
I love that album.
Cole, like, it used to be like, Drake and Cole had always kind of been like this for me.
Right.
But then, like, obviously Drake just, yeah.
That's me. I still spin the fucking Fall Off. You shitting me?
Cole is still one of my top 3 goats of all time.
Yeah, like Cole is still that fucking guy. Shout out to Dreamville, shout out to Eve, shout out to everybody in the motherfucking Dreamville camp.
Shout out to the Fiend, shout out Boz.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, shout out to Boz, Kaz, everybody,
all my
bro.
people, man.
Like, they are good folks. And, like, I feel like the Fall Off, I still appreciate that came out this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, yeah, like, people didn't give this album a fair shake, like, the Fall Off a fair shake because of any personal bias they had
against Cole.
Facts. And that's yes, we are innately as humans, we have biases towards everything. But it's our responsibility as functioning non-brain dead adults to acknowledge our biases and then operate accordingly, especially if we're in music. There's a lot of talking head podcast motherfuckers who are either ill-informed or just ill-equipped to acknowledge their biases and then make fucking opinions or takes as if they're fucking facts.
Yeah.
That's whack.
I go lie. That's a great point, and I feel like with this album, with the boy and everything like that, look, you like it, you don't like it. I ain't gonna lie, if you got a problem with him rapping about the beef, I ain't gonna lie, if every person that I ever helped turned on me at the same time, I would be rapping about it 3 years later too.
Right.
Like, I ain't gonna lie, exactly. I ain't gonna lie, if you've never been betrayed before in your life, this album is not for you.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like to see people actively turn on you in real time. And I'm also not trying to be that guy, but like, as successful people in the music industry, I literally, the last week too, I've had like people come at me crazy. People who like was like once cool. I'm like, yo, because I just said no to them to do one time because I didn't want to do some extra favor for them. You don't know what that's like. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not trying to be that guy, but like, people don't know what that's like until they Okay, he said be that guy. Well, y'all don't know what it's like until y'all are in this position, and a lot of people who are on Twitter will never be in this position.
Yeah.
Ever. And like, that's kind of my problem. Like, bro, you were talking from a position, you're talking about a man, like, granted, he is putting his art out there, so it's subjective, and you're allowed to judge him on his position and whatever, 1,000%. But you'll never be in that same position as him, so you'll never understand what it's like to be betrayed by people that you help become millionaires.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Or not. Well, he didn't make them millionaires. Let me rephrase that. Who? Huh? I didn't say credit. No, but he helped them. He helped them make millions.
Yeah,
for sure. Like, he took a lot of these people on tour, gave them features. Like, you think about all the people who got number ones off of him, or not even just number ones, who charted on the Billboard for the first time. Molly's about to get her first ever number one, and Future about to get his number 3rd or 4th,
one of those,
something like like that. Like, bro, that's not. I go lie. You got to just, you got to look at it objectively. But I understand that people on Twitter don't have like the same cognitive dissonance. But it's funny that we're talking about Twitter. This is the last thing I'm gonna talk about on Twitter. Is that we're both in the music industry, obviously, right? So I'm gonna bring up this tweet. Did you see this tweet that's going around today?
I don't know which one.
The music industry in 2026 tweet.
I did not see this one. No.
Okay, Clinton actually had quote tweeted it. That's why I was talking about it. But the tweet says, the music industry in 2026, write and produce your own music, mix it too if you can, post on social media at least 5 times a day, do your own graphic design, make sure you're cultivating a professional aesthetic, learn how to use meta ads, and do those yourself, book your own tours. And then Clint quote tweeted and said, you sound lazy, you're not built for this, go get a normal job. And I ain't gonna lie, they're ripping the kid. Well, I mean, the kid he hasn't been ratioed, but like,
yeah,
the music industry people were like ripping the kid for that tweet. I just thought it was funny because I feel like I'm like, they don't know. Hey, bro, look, if you don't want to get with the times, you don't want to get with the times. That's not my problem. That's not my problem. You feel me? It is what it is.
Yeah, nah, we're not in the era where all you have to do is burn your own CD and then fucking
That's it. And sell them out the back of your car.
Yeah, like it's. You got to be able to adjust with the times.
You got to be able to adjust with the times. You're saying golden age, bro. You just got to adjust, man.
And there's also resources that help. You got to also be like, savvy enough to realize that there are resources that can help you do a lot of these things.
Also, a lot of these things that they're talking about doing, the posting on social media at least 5 times a week is like probably like the most like easy shit.
Yeah, like post once you wake up, post once you eat lunch, post once when you go home, post once before you go to bed, and post another time. Like, in between those 4 times.
Like, if you want to be a musician or a content creator, you can't think of like 5 ways to post on anything all week. I go lie, bro.
Yeah.
I give up.
Yeah,
like,
because
you know what I'm saying? Well, I don't want to ever tell people to give up, but like, you got if you don't want it bad, as people who stood in buildings long after we got kicked out of them, I just feel like if people don't want it bad enough, they don't, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like sometimes people forget, like, one of the biggest things about being creative is to get creative.
It's to get creative.
Like,
and it's a lot. Well, like, to be creative, like, do what you did for Youngboy. Bro, most people would fold under that. So
yeah.
It's just different. We're moving on from, like, Twitter and Drake, right? Well, I mean, kind of not, yes and no. We got to talk about the hip-hop list, man.
I forgot about that.
You forgot that's why, like, we were going to talk.
Yeah, I forgot about the OG comment. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. Yo, Dante, stand right there. Stand right there as my little, yeah. He's standing there with the hip out, right?
Let's get into it.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. What do you think would make us top 10? Like, what do you think could propel us into the top 10? That's a good question. And he's my friend, so I don't care.
Nah, like, I think that OTR is, like, very, very, very important in this space. And without it, I think there wouldn't be a platform for a lot of artists to put out their music, and now especially across regions and genres, right? Like, I think about what's that group of, like, it's like the one short white boy, the black guy, the light skinned guy, Field Trip? No, what is their name? It's like a group they rapped over, like,
oh, you talking about Delivery Boys?
Delivery Boys.
Yeah, shout out Delivery Boys, man.
Yeah, like I
My
got
guys.
hip, yeah, like I get hip to like a lot of artists off of OTR. Like I got hip off Delivery Boys off of OTR
For sure.
And like I keep up with them now because like I really fucked with that freestyle off of those unique ass fucking pop music beats.
Yeah, they rapped over. I remember one of them rapped over like the Childish Gambino song. Daylight.
Oh yeah.
What's the name of that song? I'm blanking.
Tonight.
Redbone, thank you.
Redbone.
Yeah, Redbone. Thank you.
Yeah, and like the short white kid, like he went the craziest. Like
Goldwood, yep. Shout out
so
Goldwood.
anyway, that like OTR serves a really solid purpose. I think that our hip hop media list is a snapshot at the landscape. So it's not us saying these are the most important people. It's us saying this is who, as a hip hop music community, collectively we have deemed is the most powerful. So if the snapshot looks nasty, it's because the environment is nasty. That's what like the rationale has always been. You know, there's people who are very high up on the list who people disagree with morally, ethically, and have criticized us for platforming. And like I do stand on that of like, we are not platforming this person. We are saying if this looks nasty, if you think the number 1, number 2, whoever shouldn't be there, it speaks more to the climate than it does.
Why are you playing this?
Turn it off.
That
is the funniest one you could have played.
Yeah, he played the Young Miami. Turn it off. It's talking.
So yeah, like, you know, that's why we have a community vote now also, which like allows the people to say whatever they would put into the top 10.
I agree.
But that's our rationale for our top 10. And like, you know, it's in certain spots like that, OTR is number 11. it is splitting hairs with like one over the other. So like I think it's easy for y'all to get into the top 10 because it's very close. It's not like you are not 10 and 11 are separate by a wide margin by any means.
I will say, I will say, like, I'm also like looking at the statistics right now. Hold on, let me vote a few times real quick.
Okay, yeah, go.
Let me vote. I'm just trying. I'm mostly voting in the top 10 right now to kind of see like where people are. I'm one of the only people, at least in the top 11. I'm not going beyond 11 right now, just because I'm talking about how we're on the cusp of the top 10. But I'm on the radar is one of the only people that is like mutually agreed upon is in like the right spot. In like the top 10.
Okay.
Like, because you don't have you guys had the fan voting thing.
Yeah.
So like in the fan voting thing, Cam, what are you playing? In the fan voting thing, you had like the underrated, agree, or overrated, right?
Yeah.
And I will say that like for a bunch of the ones in the top 10, we're in the higher percentile of like the underrated and agree.
Okay.
Versus the overrated. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so
like,
there's
like
more votes. There are people saying that y'all were underrated,
or they agreed,
than them saying that y'all were
overrated versus like some other people in the top 10.
Yeah.
That's it. But I think it's important that like you speak about that because I think like it's different typing it out versus like you actually saying what it is.
And look, I think the rationale is like obviously, I feel like with a lot of our lists, people think that like it's like this haphazard thing. We spend weeks like deliberating on this with multiple people across multiple age demos. So it's like not just YNs or old heads. It's like a mix of people on our team, all very familiar with music, but also who all have different algorithms. Because I think that's very important. Because like, you know, I could speak honestly that like somebody like Trap Lord Ross isn't in my algorithm. But,
me neither,
you know, somebody else on our team who he is in their algorithm can speak to why they have power in that specific corner of the internet that he occupies. I think that's important. The internet is obviously vast, especially in hip-hop media. Like, I was actually talking to some guys from Atlanta, I think Baller Alert, shout out to Baller Alert, who they felt like they should have been on the list. And I was like, no, honestly, like, thank y'all for, like, talking to me about this because we don't have a lot of Southern people on our team. So maybe that was a part of the algorithm that we didn't peep as much.
Sure.
Even though this list is highly predicated on like what breaches that regional aspect of it and is more like what hits everyone's timeline. That's why somebody like academics, like Budden, like Fantano are in the top 10. It's like you don't got to be from the South, the West Coast, the East Coast. You'll probably see Fantano's score of an album. Like when Fantano drops his Iceman score, we're all going to see it. When Budden does his review of Iceman,
that already came out. He put on the paywall, but that shit already was.
Yeah, like I saw the clips. Like when he put out his immediate reactions, we all saw it. That is what, in part, you know, determines where people fall on the list. Like where, like how much motion they create, and not just in like opinion things, obviously, but just like in general. For people who like Kirko, who like obviously isn't.
Shout out Kirko. I really like Kirko.
Shout out to Kirko, who was in our top 10. He is a person, but like their page is like news. Like you get information, album releases, and just like breaking news. Shout out to Delivery Boys.
Yep.
You get that information from Kirko, which is like I think a lot, which is what other pages aggregate. So yeah, that's kind of, you know, it's different for each spot, but OTR number 11 definitely I think has the potential to crack the top 10.
I ain't peeped this yet. I'm on the community results page.
Okay.
When was the last time you looked at the community results page?
It's been a minute, a week or two at least.
Cool. Hope you're ready for this.
Okay.
So community results, right? Most agreed on the radar.
Okay.
61% says that they got right at number 11.
Okay.
I'm cool with that. Most disputed, Kid Mero at 28. It was like 30-30-30 for that one, which is interesting. Nardwuar was the most underrated.
Okay.
I do kind of disagree because I feel like Nardwuar hasn't done as much hip hop lately.
He's just the most loved, which I understand. Like he's
definitely the most loved though.
Yeah.
We love Nardwuar.
Endearing figure, I totally get that. Yeah.
Most overrated, Neon.
Okay.
Which I don't think Neon totally deserves to not be on the list because he did break people like Jello. The whole Jello thing really started because of Neon.
That was one of his biggest calling cards for that.
And
Jello,
and Neon has been doing a lot of streams with hip hop artists that have kind of been like relevant, but I just don't know if top 20 was my personal preference for that one.
Okay.
I think people who do streams with artists who I think like they should be there, but it depends on like how like how newsworthy it was, or how like if they broke artists.
Yeah, and like I think the thing with Neon, which I understand where the community vote is coming from, but our rationale was like, okay, Neon has the power to get anybody, like he had Young Thug on his stream. You know what I mean? It's like he has the power to get a lot of rappers on his stream because of the reach he has. He broke Jello, and even though he doesn't interview artists or he doesn't like really talk about music in like a critical way, just the fact that his platform has the power to influence an artist's decision on jumping on there is value enough in him. Like Max doesn't interview artists.
Yeah.
But Max is in the booth, or Max's commentary about music, people care about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Baby Chief do it, Nino Payne, a lot of these guys, they performed their in the booth songs at festivals.
Right.
So it's like that is power, you know? So yeah, that
shit, they perform they on the radar too.
Okay, but hey, look. Yeah, we know who's 10 and who's 11. I get it.
Oh,
yes. Talk to me.
How did Complex make the choice between 10 and 11?
So what Dante asked is, and also I want to, before we get into any of this, I fuck with Max heavy. Like, no. Hold on, because I don't like getting caught up in no messy shit. Like, we had hit Max a while back because we wanted to do like a 5-star cypher with him when he started the label.
Yeah.
And it just never worked out. We were actually supposed to do, we were talking to his different managers now, but at the time, we were trying to do a stream at OTR with him doing in the booth at OTR. Mm-hmm. This is like around the time he did the Cash one.
Yeah.
So we were trying to line it up to do it at OTR, but it just never worked. And then me and Max never got to meet. But I fuck with Max. Anyway, what Dante's about to ask you is, what Dante just asked is, how do you make the decision between 10 and 11? But I feel like that's a very arbitrary question because like he kind of answered that already.
You know,
Top 10 is different than like.
Top 10 is different, but like it's the question, the answer is already kind of there.
Well, you know, like it was very close to answer the question. It was very, very close, and OTR's expansion into other genres is important, but this is also a hip hop.
It's a hip hop platform, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like we're focusing hyper on hip hop, and while Max is, Max was way higher last year.
Yeah, he was like, what, 3 last year?
Yeah.
Or 4?
He was like 3 or 4. So he dropped a few spots because he's been focusing less on breaking artists and more on being an artist.
Yeah.
Like, he's performing. So like that's why he dropped a few spots, but we felt like he didn't deserve to drop out of the top 10 because he was still doing in the booths. Like he did one with Burna Boy.
The one with Rio was really good.
He did one with Rio. He did one with Too Slimy. Like as Too Slimy was starting this like, weird ascension.
Slayers was good too. I like Slayers.
So like Max is still super tapped in with the underground and still putting on in the booths that he does.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, like he isn't inactive, and that's why he still puts on for the underground. So that's why he still deserves to be in that spot. But like I said, splitting hairs with both of those, like it's very extremely close.
Jersey.
Jersey.
He's also biased because he's from Jersey.
A little bit. I did have to put on for my Jersey brother for sure.
Nah, I respect. I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's if you was from the town, you put on somewhere from the town.
You know what I mean? So it's like but I think that both OTR, Max, both amazing platforms.
Also, on the community vote, On the Radar is ranked number 8. So we're the top 10 in the top 10 with the
talk.
I ain't gonna lie. We the top 10 with the people. That's what that matters.
Let the people talk, man.
Top 10 with the people.
Get the Drink Champs air horns. Y'all above Drink Champs.
Yo. Wait, we are above. Wait, what number was Drink Champs?
Like they're in like the 20s, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mainly because like Nori and them, like they kind of like chilled a little bit. Like Nori is like on his health journey, and like I feel like there were fewer Drink Champs moments.
Look, motherfuckers start getting healthy. They drop out a list and shit.
Like,
that's crazy. Y'all see what they doing over there?
And shout out to the OG Nori, you know what I mean? Like and the whole crew out there, like they show love all the time. I love them. But yeah, like just
no, I'm not trying to get you in nothing, bro. I promise.
Look, I trust me. Like I sat across from fucking academics and was talking about this bullshit.
Yeah,
you know
I know. Act really challenged you. I fucked with that.
He did, and I appreciate it too because I think it's important to talk about these lists because oftentimes you just will see the list. You won't go to it and read the blurbs and shit. You'll just look at it when Kirko aggregates it, and it's important to give context.
I will say I was a little disappointed that more people didn't give their I'm sure it's hard to get in touch with certain people, but like people didn't give like the things
quotes,
quotes because I think the quotes really added a lot of context to how people feel about hip hop right now. And I thought that was very important. That's why I responded to you immediately. I'm like, I would love to speak about this. Mm-hmm. And like that's why I gave so much credit to like other areas of hip hop around the world.
People are bougie, Gabe. You know.
I know people are bougie.
You know, people don't want to fucking.
People don't want to talk about this shit.
Yeah, they want to put thought into rap shit. You know, even if they benefit off of it.
But yeah, man, number 8. I go out. I appreciate you for that. Damn, I forgot where I was gonna go. I was gonna take this after this. Oh, I remember. So I gotta give like 2 people for next year.
Okay,
right?
Talk to me.
Emwell and 42 CEO.
Yeah, and you know, I talked to them at Rolling Loud about this.
Emwell and 42 CEO deserve to be on that shit. Emwell, like, I don't know CEO that well. I don't think we ever really got to meet, but I just think he's a cool guy. Emwell's my dog. Emwell interviewed me like years ago before anything. And like, I just think like, and also I think me and Emwell are both the same age.
Yeah.
So I think like, you know, I love Emwell. He's such a kind spirit who cares about the artists that he works with. He deserves to be on it.
You know, shout out to Emwell, shout out to 42. We spoke about the list when we were at Rolling Loud, and I totally agree that like more underground representation, like Underground Sound, UGS is on there.
Yep, shout out my boys.
Shout out to UGS. But yeah, I think that especially as the underground continues to expand and we see artists like Osama Son, like Che, getting larger platforms, like, you know, Emwell did Osama Son's interview like he was on Well, his like show.
Yeah, great show.
A minute ago, like
you quick.
There it goes. Shout out to Emwell. Shout out to Well, and like Osama Son was on that show like early on. Yeah, this episode was viral. Like I think he did this interview before we did. So like shout out to Emwell and Well. And 42 is just super consistent. Like he's posting every single day. He's posting underground news. He's posting news about Cardi, Opium, that whole genre and space. Like he really owns. Like, so I agree. I think that like next year having more underground representation, because that space is also important. It's not just about mainstream rap. And I really fuck with those guys. So I definitely want to try to make sure that. And they were in conversation. Like, we didn't forget about them. They were definitely in contention. It just got dicey with those last, what we did?
Couple spots, yeah.
Yeah, those last couple spots, it got super dicey. And it was just like, you know, a matter of voting. But they will, my brothers, y'all are important to this space, and we'll definitely try to make sure that
That's what I want to hear, man. That's what I want to hear.
Give them their flowers.
I think that's a good place to end it, because I feel like we've been talking for almost 2 hours now, right? Yeah, we've been talking for almost 2 hours.
Yeah,
I don't want this to be like the longest episode ever. But hey, man, like, look, I think that's a great place to end it. I think you provided a lot of clarity for a lot of people. Jordan, thank you for everything. What we got coming? Oh, we got the new show, right?
Yeah. Re-Rank.
We got Re-Rank. What else you got cooking up? What else we working on?
New episodes of Re-Rank dropping every other week. As of the recording of this, one is dropping tomorrow.
So it'll be out by the time people. Who's it with? You can say it.
So it's not all music guests. So this one coming up is Stable Ronaldo.
Oh, fuck. That's a great guess.
Re-ranking our best streamers right now list. That one was shot when I still had hair, so don't be alarmed. And then we have French Montana and Max B. I guess this is the news. I'm not sure if I should have said that. Whatever. We have 2 rappers that are dropping at the top of June, re-ranking a very viral list that we did about a year ago. So exciting stuff with the re-rank. Still just grinding on the complex side. I appreciate my brother Gabe for holding the platform for everybody. It's like one of the few times I get to be interviewed, and I enjoy talking with my like-minded music brothers. So I appreciate you, man.
Yo, Cam, turn this shit off.
Jeez.
Hold on. My fault. Don't say what's on TV. Turn it off. Turn this shit off, Cam.
Go back to Iceman, man.
I go like, go Happy Drinker. Put Happy Drinker on. Yeah. All right, anyway. Man, go check out Re-Rank. Go check out everything my boy Jordan got out now. Incredible writer, incredible host, incredible person. Follow On The Radar, everything. Jordan, what's your thing? You have different ats on everything, right?
Yes, so Instagram, it's saint.rose, R-O-Z-E. My last name is Jordan Rose, like the flower, but obviously that was taken. Twitter, it's J Rose The Return. And TikTok is J Rose, but really just Instagram and Twitter. You feel me?
There you go, man. Well, look, make sure you check out everything he's got going on right now. Go follow him on Twitter for all the hot takes. And keep it locked, man. Re-ranked out now. More interviews on the way. More content on the way. More. Netspend in the Pit Part 2 out now. Go check that out. Until next time, Frequency on the Radar. Gabe P, Jordan Rose, Complex. We out.
Bow.